Hello, welcome back. Hello, welcome back. Okay, so we left off with the Morhi Rai asking if there were any healers here.
Well,
I used up all my spell shit.
I'm just looking over at Argus.
Unlike these magical folks, I can take a look at your wounds and potentially sew you up.
She looks you up and down. There's a bit of a suspicious tone to her face.
His magic burns a little bit.
And she just kind of does one of those.
Do I light back up?
After your thing is done? I'm going to use one of my powers of DM and say just no. This is fine. We're good. Everything's chill. You've cooled down. You pretty much stopped your shit. You did something that wasn't normal with your thing, and it blew out the candle so hard that it's
Do
staying.
I feel all my powers are back and I can still do everything normally?
Slowly, they're creeping back. Slowly. Yeah.
So can I heal right now?
Yeah, you could try. We'll see what happens.
While this is going on, I'm going to move. We're still 30 feet in the air. I'm just going to move them.
Is that a minute or 10 minutes or something?
10 minutes.
Yeah, fun.
So I'm just going to move them just further away from her and just a little bit because I can move it 30 feet at a time every time I move it. So I'm just going to move it back and further.
Are we done?
Both of you do that all the time.
What?
It reflects into the
Yes.
camera sometimes. I've seen it.
We're done.
I'm just moving them just further away and just holding it.
Just away? Into the sky?
Not completely, but
Sky rockets.
so I can move 30 feet at a time. So I'm just going to move it, at a 45-degree angle away from where she is.
Because it was 30 feet up.
It was already
from
30
there,
feet up,
right?
so I'm just moving it at a 45-degree angle.
So you're
another 30
Mary
feet.
Poppins.
And just
Mary
keeping it
Back
Mary
towards the
Poppins.
city?
keeping it away from her.
You got it. Okay. Yeah. There's not a range. You said there wasn't a range to it. There's a range when you cast the spell.
The thing is, when I cast it, let me double check.
If you get it out of range, it just falls.
Yeah.
After a minute after combat started, because it was the first round that I did that, it would heal itself.
Right, because you casted the spell.
Correct.
So it
Yeah,
cannot,
exactly. This.
it cannot move outside of the range, but the range is 60 feet. So I've already moved it 30 feet up, and then I'm just moving it.
Yeah, because you can keep move. It can move outside the range, or it cannot.
No, so within the 60-foot range.
It has to stay within it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I've already moved it
So
30
you
up.
just
and
keep
then-
it 60 feet diagonal from you, which isn't
Right.
terribly far.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you walking in that direction to make it go farther?
No, just from where I am.
Oh, okay, cool.
Because I'm already 30 feet from her
Good to
anyway.
know. Okay,
So, yeah.
cool. So you're just no, we're not doing this. You're I took the dog toy. No, we're not fighting over this anymore.
Right, yeah. I'm taking that out of play.
Yeah.
Thraz does go up and starts checking her out.
Okay, cool. Are you good at this?
I am actually proficient in medicine. Yeah, I
Do
did
you
that
have
with
medicine? Do you have a medicine kit or a healer's kit?
I did actually grab a medicine kit. Yes.
Okay. Are you proficient in the healer's kit?
No.
Okay. Just roll a medicine check for me.
I'll walk over behind him while he's doing that, and I'll reach out and cast a level 3 cure wounds.
Okay. Cool. Roll a religion check for me.
Religion. What is my religion?
And then
now?
burst into flames.
18.
18. You definitely feel your
you passed a
power
religion check?
had
I know.
waned and it's
It's a good day.
starting to resurface. Kind of familiar when you try to blow a bubble in a milkshake where you have to get past that point before you can finally get the bubble out of the straw. You feel it so you are able to push through it, but you definitely felt the possibility where it could have been, even though you were expending a higher level into it, it could have ended up being the effect of it a lower level just because it's still returning to you. You also think, because it's so high, you have this feeling that the fact that you said, no, I'm going to do it anyway, and your faith in yourself is one of the things that powers you, probably has something to do with that. Your confidence as long as it doesn't fall into arrogance, is an actual source of power for you.
Too late.
Argus is
Too
not that
late.
arrogant yet.
While they're doing all that stuff, I'll have wandered off a little bit and just kind of like stuck the torch that I lit off of him into the sand,
Sure.
sing to it a little bit, and then as I'm coming back to the group, it stands up with Argus's face in the flames, similar to the blue
Does it
thing.
actually have legs or is it just floating in the air?
Well, it's dancing. So however a torch is going to dance.
Sure, we'll just make it like floating like a spiritual
Okay.
weapon because this is I don't want to make this
be my
the
guest.
Fantasia
Brooms
Ba-dum.
and
the
like
brooms.
sprouts.
Yeah, what was the name of
Anthropomorphize
the
the-
Sorcerer's Apprentice? Yeah.
Kind of thing. Yes. So yeah, it basically just bobs in the air behind me.
17 on that medicine
Beautiful.
check.
17. I was just about to ask. Cool. 17. You and Argus work together. You begin to like wipe the blood clean so it's not like in the eyes and like clean some of the wounds and start to make certain stitches and like push some of the skin together so that when he does put magic into it, it's like scarless and it's a really, really good heal.
So sorry for the damage that I did.
She just kind of breathes. She's not looking at you. She's keeping one eye on Shade and one eye on the rest of the people. This person is very, very toned. Extremely toned. You also get the sense that she could beat the fucking shit out of you if she really wanted to. Not really concerned about somebody who's right next to them because she can just take care of it if she needs to.
Thraz knows that from personal experience.
Yeah,
here,
exactly.
so-
Our vampire friend can heal too.
Yeah. Told you he's actually a good guy.
You point up at him.
I just pointed.
Just like,
I don't know where he is.
What we know is he's not in there.
I know he's a good hider and it's dark in there. Not with his bite. Not anything like that.
She just looked very frustrated with you. And she turns to Trisheni and says, what did you mean by, or what did you mean by they became damned for you or to save? What is this? What do you mean?
we made the choice for them after they had already sacrificed themselves.
You chose
There
damnation.
was no other way to bring them back.
We
Bring
chose
back.
undead over not alive.
Yeah. To put it so succinctly, yeah.
Why?
There's always a possibility of changing it back.
Yeah. And
Who told you that?
He is a cleric.
He's a god.
I've known many things because I'm from this region. There's a lot of undead things here.
We've seen something that was dead for a very long time, and I've brought him back to life.
Right.
So
But like
why?
fully back to life too, so it's not.
I know that creature's master.
Yeah.
Vladdy.
Sure. They are not on the side of harmony.
Who is this Vladdy you speak of?
His daddy.
Bloody is daddy.
God damn it, Cody.
Thraz is totally just picturing like an older gnome right now.
So after the glances that the monk and Moonchild had, does it seem like Moonchild wants to approach them? Because it seemed like they had a moment there.
You know that feeling. I'm not sure if any of you have experienced it. Probably because you guys are dog people. Where like a dog you don't know, someone else's dog like comes up to you and says like, oh hey, and like you're like, oh hi, and you like trepidatiously pet them and do your thing because they seem like they're asking for pets, or the owner says it's okay or something, and the owner says something like, oh wow, they never let anybody do that, and it's because the dog like knows like, oh, you're cool, everything's cool, that type of thing. You kind of get that feeling from Moonchild, that Moonchild was like empathically, instinctively like being like, they didn't hurt me on purpose. They like didn't want to hurt me. It's like as far as your connection to her, because it's a little bit more than just language or body language with you, because you have a little bit more of a strong empathic feeling.
Well, so I
Telepathic.
would give to Moonchild, like, you can approach them, like, you if you want to do exactly what you just said, like.
Sure. She looks at you and she's like, she rather than the tail up and alert, it goes down, and the ears go back a little bit, and she stops panting as much and just goes in mode and does approach and get closer. This happens while they're having a conversation, and Moonchild just begins like licking some of the blood from her shin and cleaning her up. And she's like a little focused right now, having this conversation.
Do I sense the frying pan being moved at all?
Oh, the point that interposes, the point of like space and time that interposes the Dorkennen and the Morhi Rai is bitter, I guess. Like it is something that is noticeable to you, I suppose. As you have experienced magic of circumstance before, these two forces of whatever they may be are so profoundly on opposite sides of the spectrum of whatever is good, evil, doesn't matter, like, or just whatever their values it may be, and perhaps for so long that it is palpable. As far as like slippage, when it comes to like Thraz or anybody else, you don't sense that like you did with Osfer and Bastion. Like this person's not supposed to be here. These people seem to be, from what you can tell, and there's no really role required for this because this is just so intense. It's so very obvious to you. They seem to be all in their home dimension, home timeline. Nothing's out of place. Everything. With the exception of perhaps maybe the vision, the eyes that you had experienced before.
I'll walk up as Trishani.
You
Trishani.
have to be doing this on purpose. You have to.
That time I did.
Okay. It's canon. It's got to be.
It's got to be.
Yeah.
You guys still chatting away?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we're still chatting. I mean, I think you mentioned he's out of balance, but he's out of balance towards the people that are truly out of balance, perhaps. Vladdy, if you will.
Are you really concerned with balance?
I think, well, I'm more concerned about us not, and the whole world not dying, but it's...
I think I know a way to fix the balance. But I don't think they're going to like it.
What?
These two, I point at Shade and... What's your name?
Yeah, we didn't ask.
Kyra Ra'el.
That's a
I'm
mouthful.
Meckel. I'll reach out my hand.
Kyra. Ra'el.
Kyra Ra'el.
Sorry.
What was it? Kyra?
Kyra. Kyra.
Interesting point. You say that her and her family called her Kyra. Those from the monastic temple and the monkish ones that are older than her, like, hear her name differently, like as Kyra Ra'el. Like it's like just how language evolves and everything. They're kind of stuck in an older dialect of like primordial of what your
And then-
name represents.
Right.
And you're more, you would call yourself Kyra.
And then
more. Yeah.
last name is RA''EL.
Yeah.
So it's like Trishani and Trishani. So anyways, I'm standing there with my hand held out.
You're
Kyra
holding out the hand,
Kyra
your
Rael.
right hand, and her right arm is the
Kyra,
one that's like
yeah.
currently getting tended
arms
to
around.
because it was all
Oh,
fucked up.
then I'll
limp.
switch arms.
Yeah, it's a very Meckle thing to do. Honestly.
Yeah, yeah.
It would be like, oh, sorry, and she does slowly reach out and have your hand. She doesn't like appear like suspicious or afraid or any of this types of thing. She's just a little shook, you know.
Thraz doesn't introduce himself. He just kind of nods when everybody's introducing themselves.
So if you and Shade hug, I think that might
That will
fix
never
the
happen.
balance.
Nope,
Which one says that?
she does.
Or they both do.
Both at the same time.
Same time. Nope.
You hear it in unison.
Shade says that would never happen.
Nope.
And Kira's like, nope.
All right, I guess that's the only way I know of balancing things. So
I mean, you guys are both here at the same point. You're not killing each other. It's pretty balanced at the moment, I'd say, right?
You had said that she was not Dorkennen anymore. Explain.
I mean, I feel a little odd telling her story, but I can. She's
Rather than talk to myself and have.
yeah,
it-
yeah.
I will just say that Shade gives the cliff notes of like, hey, didn't like what was happening, left, kind of on the run, but also still concerned about perhaps some of my sisters that are back there. You don't need to know any more than that. But I know what what I know, and I've heard the stories of what you people, the more Hirai do, and basically, there's a conversation that happens between the two of them because I'm not going to roleplay this. 'Cause
Yeah.
this is silly because it's just going to be me talking to myself. There's a conversation that happens between them where you see that kind of trope of both of them have heard tales of vilifying the other one, where they're the bad guy, and it's just like two different sides, and which is not surprising to either one of them because it's still justified in the point where people have died on
Yeah.
both sides when it comes to conflicts between the two of them.
No, you're the bad guy.
I know you are, but
Shade
what
is
am
also
I?
has become due to the fact that she is ex Dorkennen Rai. The fact that not everything that she has done is virtuous, even though it's a lot of the thing only that she's ever known. But she still has love and value for the people that she surrounded herself with. More specifically, like Tiffany is very important to her. So, like, you definitely see there's more regret probably on Shade's side than there is on Kira's side.
But anyway, as you can see, you shouldn't judge a book by its cover, which is another reason why, maybe you shouldn't assume that all the creatures of the night are so terrible.
I mean, he is a little shit. I mean,
Sometimes, yes, but, it's okay. It's okay.
Can verify.
He's trying to do good in this world,
He is, yeah.
the best he can.
Even did good on the moon, actually. I'm thinking not just...
I
Yeah.
was thinking of the world.
Thraz just shrugs his
Oh,
shoulders.
okay,
Everybody's
just
saying
this.
this.
aspect
I
of
see.
the world,
I see.
not this planet.
Okay.
If Kyra looks at Thraz like after they say this, Thraz is just gonna shrug his shoulders because
alarm.
y'all are strangers to Thraz.
So I think what she's not like, she doesn't, you don't get a stoic air from her as much as she trusts you pretty quickly. Perhaps maybe not Shade, but she trusts you pretty quickly because of your actions speak a lot louder than your words to her. There's type of unease that's still within her, and it seems to be more of an inner conflict than it has to do with any of you chuckle fucks. So because that's like pretty much she's like, what have you gotten yourself? Most likely, what's going through her mind is like, what have you gotten yourselves into? Like, you obviously like. I got pretty quickly that none of this was intentional, but you don't know what you've fallen into, and She's like, unfortunately, the decision that you've made for your friend they may very well be a good person, but they are no longer under the control of themselves. They are under control of another, whose powers, values, and perhaps goals threaten a great many of my people and others.
Do you know?
Whether or not it was your choice or not.
Do you know their goals?
Yeah, that was what I was going to ask. I mean, broad
Don't look at
strokes.
me like that when you're doing that.
I was waiting for you to
It was
respond.
it was also
We can edit that out.
no, it's a highlight.
It's saying in it. It's saying
It totally in a slurp motion too. Just
It was also like the
Yeah,
searching for the straw movement.
thank you.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That goes in the
I
notes.
already did it.
Is it because you're afraid? I'll ask the other lady,
Kyra.
Other Kyra.
Kyra.
Yes, you should be too.
I do actually. Meckel snorts. I'm okay. I may be able to help you get over the fear of actually embracing each other.
Oh no! Fear is important. It is a necessary feeling. It's important to feel fear because fear can protect you from things that are threatening. You feel fear for a reason.
Do you?
It is natural. Yes, of course.
Am I supposed to feel fear?
I mean, it's kind of
Yes.
normal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you not feel fear? I know I'm scared almost shitless every day. I mean, you know.
I mean, fear is the reason we don't go headlong running into danger. Fear is the reason why certain things seem less approachable, less desirable to us, for good reason. They harm us, they harm others. Fear is important. Courage is different. Courage is being afraid of something and doing it anyway.
I look at Argus. You should write that down. All right. Well, I've said my say.
Sorry, my wisdom score is 20. I can't help but give you compliments.
So what are the broad strokes of the plans that this creature is, you know, it's so scary that
If you don't know, it's better that you continue to not know.
Then
It's-
how can we have the appropriate level of fear?
What is this wisdom
Be
score
afraid.
that you speak of?
Be very afraid.
Like we're kind of involved now, so like it's good for us to know what, like, yeah.
yeah. So we can act of our own accord rather than just simply,
If I said the word conclave, would you know what I meant?
oh yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah,
Fucking bastards.
yeah.
How many do
sorry,
you know?
we'll talk about this later. Maybe, you know, we'll see.
How many do you?
At least 3.
Yeah.
At least 3.
How many do you know?
7.
Really?
That's this many.
Does he lose concentration on the spell?
It's been about 10 minutes.
Raz looks at you like you
That's
are
the perfect
such
time
the
where-
special child.
That's probably the perfect time, around 10 minutes, where he's like that, because he's like, it's this many as the.
Yeah.
Well, and everybody, like,
Hasn't it been up there flailing? 'Cause it's not even healed for a while.
Yeah.
Thraz just looks at you all like when you get like so excited about log counting 7 correctly. Thraz is just looking at you like, what the hell is wrong with you
Yes,
people?
the cleric
It's-
is like, yay, good job.
Yeah!
You got to understand, getting to 6 was.
But I can do it, damn it.
We
I
could
I
trade
know.
you.
I know.
Yes, it's probably best if you just. It's probably best if you just stay afraid and not know anymore.
Maybe she'll tell us.
7 is a challenge for you.
If
Yeah.
if we give doctors potion as trade.
For names?
For knowledge, you know.
You don't know what she needs.
There will be no circumstances in which I will give you that information.
No.
You become
Well-
more. You don't understand. The more you know, the more danger you become in. The
There
only
were
reason why
circles.
I know this is because I have dedicated a good portion of my life to it, and we have massive receptacles of knowledge dating back before the breath of life was part of this world.
I've got massive receptacles for you.
Excuse me? Go to your room.
Is that what Zemdex says? He's coming out of his
His voice comes from
In
work.
his room right now.
I've been talked back to.
I've now lost everything I was trying to do.
I was gonna say something, but that is gone now.
7. Okay. Is there something immediately? Because we don't like the conclave either. And we'd like to do things to disrupt things as much as possible. Is there anything in particular that we can maybe help you with at the moment? Besides Spawn?
I can't in good conscience put you in danger.
Weren't you just trying to, like, kill some of us a little bit ago?
I could
No,
have,
well, no, she didn't.
but I
like,
didn't. You were in the way.
So it's okay as long as it fits your purpose. Is this another one of those weird death philosophical things that you were trying to teach me?
I try and
The
I
ends does
try.
not justify the means. No.
Right.
Really?
But
'Cause
none
that
of
hurt.
you are none of you are harmed beyond repair. You forced my hand in a couple of situations. The only reason why I am at your mercy is because I took those steps. I could have been more relentless.
How did
We could have
Glare
How
is
did
at
we
shade.
force
Yeah.
your hand when you attacked us in the tower?
I wasn't attacking you. I was taking care of a problem that threatens us all.
That's why we came up to come talk to you, and you attacked us.
Do you know of a way to sever that? Because if that's
I'm
that,
sorry. I'm sorry.
I accept your apology.
I don't. I mean,
you
No.
should.
I look down at my torch.
Sacrilege.
I look down at the torch. The torch looks up at me.
But are you actually following the faith when he's in
Adam, don't
apostate
do that.
and-
I'm sorry.
You got me on that one.
yeah.
By not listening to me, you actually are joining us.
Yes. So, is there something that you know of that maybe we can, given the circumstances that he found himself damned or we damned him, one or the other, that we might be able to separate that tie that you know, so that there's no threat?
No,
And no, okay, okay.
death
I
is
think
preferable.
that's what was trying to happen.
That's what I
Yeah.
was trying to accomplish.
I know you're trying to accomplish that. I was trying to find a third
We heard rumor.
I was hoping to find
something else.
their master here as well.
What do you know him as?
I know his name.
Vladdy.
Sure.
No. I want to know his true name.
The more I tell you, the more danger you become in. This is not.
I understand that, but who decides how much danger I choose to be in?
I do. It's
Why?
my job.
But I am my
It
own
is
being.
why I remember everything. I have the wisdom for that.
And you're the sole owner of wisdom.
I'm the largest one.
So much so that you keep it to yourself, not to spread wisdom, but to hoard it.
To keep it safe from those who would misuse it.
We don't
Then
misuse anything.
Why are you already damning me to be not
I didn't
enough?
choose this. This isn't a personal thing. I did not choose this.
But you're choosing not to tell me.
Yes, because I know what happens.
You don't
Because
know what will happen.
It's
unless-
happened time and time and time again on so many generations.
So
You
it
don't know
doesn't
who we
matter.
are?
Yeah, do you know who we are, what we've done, any of that?
I don't know who you
Not
are.
specifically.
That's fair too. Yeah.
So how do you know that we would cause problems, or that this information would blow up?
You misunderstand. It's not that you would cause problems. It's that me. The temples, the monastic order, those who have been put here to protect all living things that are worth protecting. The culture, this history.
But the
It's that
keeper of
they
the flame
and
mean
I would
anything
put
to
you in danger, purposefully.
Does the keeper of the flame mean anything to you?
Go ahead and roll an intimidation check for me.
Get it.
As you see her like her
Holy fuck!
her like eyebrows like fall and like become like her kind of like lean her center of gravity back a little bit.
21, nat 20.
Yeah, you got a nat 20.
Hell yeah.
Bring out the god.
I have all my motivator days back.
You're still right next to her.
Yeah.
She reaches out to you. Do you let her?
Yeah.
She holds your face. And then she reaches up her other hand and holds the other side of your face, and she gazes deep into your eyes.
Just give me the word.
I'm gonna do something real quick.
Whisper? Okay.
You feel like the rest of the existence, the air, the sun, the heat, the sand, which is now turning from this cold. There's this layer of sand that is super hot on top, but right below that surface layer is this deep, cold sand, still chilly from the night before, as cold as it gets in the desert. And you feel the heat that is just so prominent in your body begin to, for lack of a better term, melt away. And you're able to feel the coolness as she grabs you, and you can feel the pressure and the weight of her hands upon you, and your feet sink just a little bit more into the sand, and you feel that coolness rush through your bloodstream and through your capillaries as they open. And your eyes dilate, and hers do too, and time falls away. The sun no longer exists. The sands, the winds, the walls, the clanging of metal objects within the bazaar beyond the walls that echo off into the distance fall away. The edges of your periphery become torn into pieces as blinders begin to grow on either side. Her hands, the shadow of her hands on your face, begin to become like blinders on a horse, and you see her face now, not her shoulders, not her garb anymore. Begin to shallow and become but of a pinprick of your perception. You're so proud of how you are so perceptive as your tunnel vision begins to creep deeper and deeper and tighter in. And at some point, her mouth falls away, her nose falls away, and all you can see is the eyes, lidless, lashless, and unblinking. And you can see yourself in the eyes, but you are not Argus. You are a mote of flame in the abyss. What's going through your mind?
What color flame? I mean, is she... So I just see myself... do I see myself
And the, like
through
the
her
reflection
eyes?
of her pupils and
Okay.
irises.
So,
Because
okay.
that's all you see.
Then all I see is the flame.
Yeah.
Is it red? Is it... What is it?
Yeah, it's like a mote of just like flame. Like when you produce flame, it's like you, your perception appears to be coming from like that mote of flame.
Can
That's what you
I
are.
try to increase my brightness?
Like become
Bigger?
greater.
Yeah.
Sure. Without rolls, I think you push it and you burn a little brighter. The eyes appear to tighten just a little bit as they try to focus on you continually. You can, I think with your passive insight, you can get a sense that as you do so, as you grow brighter, just like eyes, when it comes to light, the brighter the light, sometimes the smaller the pupils may get, and you try to shield yourself because it's harmful to take in too much light into, the ocular whole system. And you do see it react and wince ever so slightly. But it's looking deep, deep, deep into you. Like your body has fallen away. You don't feel the phantom limb of your... Or I suppose like maybe you do feel the phantom limb of what was once there, but it's not there anymore. And the feeling of like clenching your fists is perhaps what makes you a tad brighter, and you feel it wince. But you are bare and naked to these eyes. This Morhi Rai sees right into you, to your core, whatever you may be. A motive flame that could spark a forest fire, an apocalypse of conflagration. The first fire ever sparked. Olympus's light, as it were. Sisyphus's flame, to give you an analogy, is what she sees. And she sees it bare, naked, without anything else. And then you feel yourself divide. You feel like your arm, it's the closest thing I can describe is like your arm and your legs kind of like fall off and like separate from you, or you feel like they're getting longer and longer, like Mr. Fantastic style, kind of from farther and farther away from you as you feel thinly spread, like you're super stressed out. And you can see in the reflection of her eyes that there are different colors and now different flames that are in the reflection. There's a black one, there's a blue one, there's a red one, there's a white one. So,
How is this looking from the outside?
they are locked in this gaze about 3 inches from each other's face, completely still, statuesque, for a couple moments.
Okay, while that's happening, I'll detect thoughts on her.
Okay, cool. Yeah, you do so. Everything I just described to you is what you see.
Okay.
My question for you is, do you want to push deeper?
No, I want to turn it around. I
And-
want to look at the reflection in his eyes of her.
I see. Okay. There are no eyes. He's just a flame.
Into the flame, then.
It's just a mode of flame.
I'll kind of look at the shadows around
Your
the flame.
best bet is to look into the black flame, as it would have the most reflective surface when it would come to this type of thing. So, yeah. I'll say... here, so this is really fun. I think rather than having like Kyra roll a wisdom saving throw while you dig deeper, I think let's just have you roll a wisdom saving throw to see how much you can embody her mind to see her perception.
Can you face God?
Yeah. Not
Pretty
not
much,
with, not
because
with that roll.
apparently the more he Rai can, but can you?
Is it a wisdom save or is it a?
Granted, the word God means nothing.
Well,
Right.
God and yeah.
Sure.
Is it what type of roll?
Wisdom saving throw.
Okay, I only got an 8.
8. The light, even from the black flame, is blinding, and it's like that. You get that feeling when you're too close to a bonfire, you're like, and you have to pull back that heat.
Okay. Can I concentrate on her intention of doing this right now?
Sure, I would say that would be you digging deeper.
Oh,
Would you like to
okay.
dig deeper?
Sure. I have
Okay,
to
so
protect
she's
my
gonna roll a
daughter.
wisdom saving throw now.
Nothing bad has ever happened from me doing this before
No,
that I
no.
remember.
It's a 21 for a wisdom save.
Oh yeah, that beats my 13. Yeah.
Very wise
So
individual.
the spell ends.
So the spell ends, and she knows that you tried, but they're still statuesque. She doesn't seem to like react negatively, or they're still locked in
Yeah.
this thing. So you see yourself split.
Yes.
into different types of things, which at the very least to you means that either these are different versions of you, parts of you, or you are one part of something, or you're inextricably tied.
Is it all based off of the stuff I already know? I already know that there are the different keepers and who some of them are.
This seems to be like a symbolic
Okay.
existence here. So perhaps, I mean, because we had discussed about how oh yeah, the blue flame, the black flame, the white
Yeah.
flame, and the red flame are the sacred flames.
Right.
Look at that. These sacred flames, like the primordial first flames, and they have, just like you have reincarnated as the red flame.
Right.
Others have perhaps reincarnated as other
And
flames
we already know
because
the blue flame.
the king of flame, or like the actual first flame that personified itself, had split itself up for safety and other things to survive, and to still allow fire to exist in this world, and yada yada yada, because of the war with the gods. And yes, yeah, it's nothing about this contradicts any of that information.
Okay.
It's just the fact that you are for sure part of this, and she is seeing literally right through you, and seeing all of this, and proving to herself that yeah, you are a
And
keeper of
I'm
the
not
red
trying
flame.
to keep that from her.
She's not seeing the vessel. She's seeing the flame right now.
Right.
Yeah, she's seeing the red flame that you are the keeper of. You've never, even the Immolate didn't do it like this.
Yeah.
So there's definitely that feeling of you feel naked in the classroom right now, probably. It does pull back, and you are able to reassert yourself in your own body. And a tear comes down her eyes and falls off of her cheek and hits the sand before it crystallizes into a blue crystal like the ones that she threw before. And she quickly wipes her face, and she picks up the tear and she pockets it. And she looks at you and says, "I've been looking for you. Why did you run?"
When did I run?
"I'm sorry, you don't remember. It was a different life."
Who have you found?
"All of them, except you."
I know who the blue is.
Cheeky fellow, isn't he?
Oh, Grimmy.
Honestly, the one that's going to require the most persuasion, but
Oh, I can help with that.
good.
I'm not ready to become a part of the large. Are we at that point?
I don't know. But you'll never be ready for this. I wasn't ready to become what I am. But I had to.
How'd it happen?
My friends were in danger. I saw what people sacrificed, what previous versions of me sacrificed for me. And I fought a stillborn god. Something that other versions of me had been keeping at bay for generations and eons. A remnant of the war between the current pantheon and what we are more familiar with. Shame. A god's shame. Personified.
I wonder how much of that's out there.
I hope not too much more, but I think inevitably perhaps so. And we laid it to rest. and I found out what I was. I never believed in prophecy when I was younger, but it's hard to when it's literally hitting you in the face repeatedly.
I
It's
understand
hard
that
to
one.
dispute it. I'm sure you probably felt the same way. You're probably similarly in the same boat as I am.
Yeah.
Do you know what is going to happen when you conjoin?
No clue.
Me neither. But I know that it will. It's what the shamans of old at one point intended. A reset back to the literal natural order of things. You must know that this is not. There are alien forces
Yes.
here.
I'm very aware of that one.
We just gotta hug it out.
We went to the moon, and we've
I can hug you later if you
Not
Hugs are great. It's fine.
we've seen some alien forces involved.
Hugs and drugs, man. Hugs and drugs.
I mean, by the actual definition of the word, like ones that are not
From
native
this
to
world,
this
yes.
world. Yes.
Yeah.
The most notably, the Pantheon.
Yes. I've started to develop some powers to fight that. The Pantheon.
So your ember is burning brighter.
with my help.
You're not the only ones. Other primordials have shattered themselves for hopefully one day to come back to restore what this world could possibly be.
Is that a part of the Mohirai?
They should check their pants.
It is one of our...
We are children.
It
We
is-
really are.
As far as
Shatter themselves.
some of my old memories are, it could possibly be one of their responsibilities, one of their charges, to facilitate those types of things, to protect those that can't protect themselves, to make sure that those that would take advantage of the natural order be held at bay until nature and the natural order can reassert itself and create balance. The world has been knocked off of kilter for far too long.
Those alien forces, there's some catastrophe, some countdown that we've found. Something is
mean?
coming.
There is a clock, and we know.
There is a prophecy, of course.
We're not talking about prophecy. We're talking about a quantifiable thing that is going to happen very soon, like next month. We have the day.
You have more accurate text about the prophecy?
I don't know if it's
I would be
necessarily
more
that.
literal than an actual prophecy.
Yeah, it's. I also don't know about prophecy, but we do know about a certain thing that's
The
counting
prophecy
down.
of when the primordial forces that survived the war against nature then reassert themselves, the resurgence.
I don't know if it's related to that. Based off of what we've heard about the future.
This is something else?
I think it's a different alien force.
Yeah.
Not from the Pantheon, but from something
I
else.
don't know what you mean.
Does Black Icar mean anything to you?
No?
We.
While this is all going on,
Yeah. I need to break this up. Yes.
well, while this is all going, so you said that my concentration broke and word fell.
Sure.
While they're doing all this, I'm gonna go look in Word for.
Something.
I'm just gonna.
Because you can see the dark.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna go search inside
Yeah,
of Word
I mean,
for.
it's like, it's broken, so at the very...
Well,
the-
it
No,
repaired
it's
itself.
repaired itself now.
oh, right, it's repaired itself.
Which
yeah.
is why he fell. He's no longer an
Well,
object.
does it close when it repairs itself?
Yes.
Okay, so it closed.
Well, so then I'll yes, yeah, so I'll telepath in. Are you in there? What the fuck? Where are you?
Remember, Zemdex doesn't have control over Whir right now. Shade does.
No,
No, they
I gave her her highball back.
Oh, you did?
No,
Give
when?
it back?
When?
When?
I
No, we
No,
had
you
gotten
didn't.
her to agree to let us hold
Still
on
under
to
her
it. Oh, that's
control.
right, yeah.
And you didn't ever give it a command to do anything because you didn't have a chance to.
But I'm
So-
telepathing into it. I'm trying to contact him inside of Whir, is what I'm trying to do.
Right, and he's not there. He's across a plane and a bunch of other stuff.
Unless you come out
I
of the hole
don't
by then.
see how that would.
Yeah.
I don't see how that would work. I'm not sure if you'd be able to connect to anything.
Okay, wait, I wasn't
Is-
planning on it having
is the
mended
hole
and
still
being-
hanging?
Oh yeah, it would be latched into the thing when it's
I think-
sealed.
Once, well,
Black
let's see.
flag.
So it appears that once it fell, it probably got dislodged a little bit and got covered with a little bit of sand and maybe folded up a little bit, just kind of crumpled. So it may
Inside?
be near.
So
no,
you being-
outside.
Oh.
Stuck with sand, gradually filling up your.
Well,
Yeah,
so-
so like the same.
So you would
That's
see
pretty
the
much what's
portable
happening is
hole
just-
on the sand next.
There's
to,
this little like you're very Princess Jasmine in the hourglass, sand slowly filling into your.
So I
Not like it
find
means
the-
anything to you because you don't need to breathe.
But I find
so.
the hole.
Sure. I'd say eventually you'd probably find the hole. Yeah.
Dust
Good
the. I found the hole.
All of
That's
you are
what
children.
that's what they said, Log.
All of you are children.
Yep.
Don't pretend like you're not down here with
Yeah,
us.
exactly. You were just gonna say it's
The
Zemdex.
If
hole
I
is
can
easier
take
to
the high
find than
road,
the other
I
thing,
will.
so-
I
Just to say that I took the high road.
I can verify that he almost never takes the high road.
yeah.
I can
When I'm on
verify
that, so like I have to on this side of the table because there's definitely a phenomena between everybody there and being like, yeah, I'm gonna be a teenager again, like on that side of the fucking table, and then once you're on this side, you're like, children, please calm down. You have to be the teacher. That's so.
Well, I mean,
please.
you are the referee, so
We'll give you
I used
referee,
to be a
not
music
teacher
teacher,
title.
so
Yeah.
same thing.
So I find just, you in there?
Is she gone yet?
No, just hey, like you're okay. And I'll just stash them in a pouch and
Yeah, the hole's like half filled with sand, and you fold it back up and put it in your pocket.
just hang tight.
Why don't you go ahead and roll like a sleight of hand check at advantage because of like this is intense. What's happening right here?
GM.
Sure.
While all this stuff is happening, Thraz saw some really, really cool glass get created magically. And
Sure.
so the alchemist in Thraz is going, ooh, potentially a new ingredient. So he's
Yeah.
trying to harvest as much of this like glass from where you fell through and when you turned into fire.
Sure.
There's no.
That's easy enough. You don't have to like roll anything for it. You will. Very seldom does a volcano's lava, magma, which I can't remember which, make contact with like the sands of a desert.
Yeah.
So you are like just like oh, eye of Newton, like your sprig of ghost and stuff. Like you kind of create. You are able
Well,
to
and
collect.
somebody around him literally keeps telling, like, only one person, but somebody keeps saying, he's a god.
Yeah.
So, like, potentially Thraz is all like, it's me.
I'm the problem. It's me.
So Thraz is all like, potentially this is god glass.
Sure. So I think you're able to collect a good amount of it. You can collect. You just have the component. If you
I
want
actually
to.
do have one thing because it was a circle that he fell through with the dimension
Sure.
door. Can I get that in one piece?
Ooh,
Sure. I'm gonna say roll a sleight of hand check.
Cool.
that's gonna be
That's I that's why I was asking that question because I was like, that's a pretty cool thing if I can get my hands on it.
When are you doing this? Do I notice you stealing?
Oh no,
my
this
glass?
is while you
during
this
your
is
having
while
this
you guys are having your whole
intense
conversation.
conversation, obviously, because the rest of them are just wondering like, what is happening?
I'm pretty sure a 7 doesn't get it.
I think you like are. And you lift it up, and just like that, like hard
And there's just like
candy,
this
it just
little bit
kinda-
of bend.
Yeah, and it just shit.
I didn't grab it in the right spots.
You were hoping to use it as like a lens, but
Yeah, exactly.
crap,
That's
yeah.
actually kind of what my thought was. Yes.
So you can still collect some pieces. You can say,
hey.
We can cut you some.
I'm gonna collect as many of the pieces as I can. It's very possible.
Yeah.
I know a fire god. I might be able to weld this back together.
I'll say that you can put it in your inventory as
Shattered.
flash glass made by the blood of the mountain from the Maresian sands. It's the shortest I can say it.
I know.
honestly.
That's why I'm like,
Yeah.
So my sleight of hand, I even at advantage, I rolled shit. So because I have a decent amount of rolled inspiration, I'm going to re-roll. Because
Okay, cool.
it would not have been good otherwise. It's a little better.
oh, wait. DM.
What?
Does world inspiration count for my thing of improved cumulative supplement? Because it says anytime somebody rolls an additional die other than advantage or disadvantage.
Let me double check.
Depends what you call it.
I am rolling additional
Start
die.
with you or another creature you can see within 30 feet of you rolls an additional die for an ability check, attack roll, or saving throw. Other than advantage of doing, you may use a reaction to spend a motivator die on it. Yes, it would.
You get a motivator
Yeah.
die to use, man. It's a D8.
I will.
It's like inspiration,
use
but
it.
works for everything.
That's why I was asking about that one, because world inspiration's kind of a specific thing.
Okay,
Yeah.
so with that, then that'll bump everything up to a 16.
A 16. Okay. You feel rather stealthy for log. Grabbing the thing.
What do you look like
They're
still right now?
their gazes
I mean,
are still locked. If that means
because
anything.
we had a long rest, so
Yeah.
I'm just logged.
You're just log. Okay. Okay.
right now.
I just want to make head canon. You know?
Can you imagine if I had to have a different mini for you every fucking time? The minis of like Steve Buscemi and Machete and
We can't do that.
yeah, I know we can't.
It's an image.
Machete would be fine, but
So if
Each day.
after my
All day,
detect
every day.
thoughts fails, other than the fact that I know she has them,
Like pushed out.
yeah, I'll walk over to Shade and be like, I don't really trust her. Kebab?
Me neither.
Yeah.
I feel like you need a kebab keychain or something. Like.
Then again, I don't trust anybody. We're working on it.
Michael
What?
has an endless pocket of kebab.
You don't have to ask.
kebab
I'll
and
just hand her
whistle.
another one.
How many days old are these kebabs by now?
We just left.
Yeah, we just not.
Yeah.
We didn't leave of our own accord either. So you know.
Well,
probably
yeah, but
still
we had
good
just
fresh.
come back. Did
Yeah.
you buy
maybe
more
like a day or
kebabs
two.
like when we got
They're-
back?
remember, they're continually being delivered to the.
Right.
2 days tops.
No, I didn't.
Well,
'cause
you
I
didn't
wasn't
go down
here
to the
for that.
bazaar.
Oh,
you were
yeah.
just in the tower the whole time.
I
So,
set it up, so it's a
I thought it
delivery
was doing
now.
delivery.
Pick up where we left off. No, I don't know anything about any Icar.
Okay, so
We had someone who was from your order, who I swear I saw in a statue, come back from the past.
Back from the past.
Or from the future. From the
oh,
future?
well, from the future they were here originally,
To the future?
but then
From the future back to
From
the
the
past.
future,
From
back
the
to the
past.
past.
From the past.
Gotta get back.
to
Back
the
to the
future, then
past.
back to the
Okay.
past.
so if you
to-
consider time's not linear, let's just start here, and then I pull up a diagram and just start going full.
Sure.
Yeah.
You like glass the thing and starts to like
Yeah.
scrawl on it.
So if
sure.
you see, it's more like Rodoros and kind of more like pits and things.
She do
and-
this a lot. Okay.
It doesn't make any sense to me either.
I tried.
Thras sees you doing that, and he starts going. He comes along and he goes, and then there's these things that would shoot off from that, and he starts drawing like the extra like planes and worlds like off of the timeline that.
This guy gets it. This guy gets it. All right.
You get it.
I give you like a high five or something. Okay, so no.
Fucking nerds.
But anyway, that's yeah. It,
I guess
besides
I'm not
the
making you
o-
anything.
besides the monk we just met, Osfer was his name.
Good meadow.
Yeah. In case you happen to know him, maybe not. I know there's lots of monks, but
It's vaguely familiar.
Wasn't
Okay.
there something
Little
with him
halfling.
too?
Hey, Log, will you turn into Osfer for me?
Oh, yeah.
I can turn into him on stilts. Yeah.
Well, that's always the best way.
Okay.
Giant platform shoes.
Yeah. It's a halfling.
Turn Osfer on stilts.
So just imagine
That sure
sans
is
stilts.
odd.
But without the stilts, like this is just to
his height
compensate
down.
for.
They
like,
look familiar. Probably, yeah.
Wasn't there something about him being a
I
Morhirai?
swear it reminds me of one of the statues that I saw in the temple.
Maybe vaguely.
I just don't know how Morhirai come to be.
Wait,
might as well.
if not the wall, not Ote. There's no statue like that there.
That's where he said he was from.
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you.
Isn't that also where you saw? Well, when I mean, I don't know your full life, but I feel like that's where you would have been, right?
Right?
Just thinking about
Do I
geographically.
remember this?
'Cause he has
Go
my
ahead and roll a
memories.
history check.
Probably not. Let's see. Yeah, that's a straight 12.
Straight 12.
Yeah.
You see, like the fleeting image of the thing that they're talking about is like you kind of trying to imagine it in your mind's eye. But one of the first times I think you feel is that there's a very strong disconnect between their memories and your memories. Whatever this is, it's not Argus's memory that you're seeing it.
What?
So
Do you remember?
I do, but it's not from you.
What do you mean it's not from me?
That's all
Well,
you
see,
get.
your memories taste a certain way.
Why are you tasting memories?
Synesthesia. Check.
Okay, keep going.
And this one is different.
So I'll turn back to Kyra. Do the flames have the same thing you do? I know they're also reincarnated into other beings that are we are reborn too. Do you know?
The flames are supposed to only be reborn when the resurgence is at hand, or whatever it may be. The stones, the flames.
But when that happens, do we develop memories from our past lives as well?
I don't know. I only know how the Morhirai. And even that, it's still very new to me. I remember what I was vaguely between
How do you
the
dig deeper in your
responsibilities.
memories? How do you know what's what and what's yours
Oh
and what's
God,
not
I
yours?
don't know. It is a lot of work.
The taste.
Teach me.
Ew.
Generally, if you want to dig, you need a shovel.
In your head.
Okay.
No, not that. But you're certain that that's not at the Wa'anate temple? This Osfer fellow? Sans stilts?
All of the Morhirai that I descend from,
Yeah.
not absolutely, not genetically or physically, just reincarnate from, I
Yeah.
suppose it is, have been of the Wa'anate, and none of them remember that.
Is
Very
there more
strange.
They
than
look familiar, but probably because they were there when I was there, or
Okay.
one of mine was there, or any of our.
How many Morhirai are there? Is there more than
There's
one?
only one at a time. But as far as I know,
Okay. I just would assume
they
with
don't
all-
always appear from the Wa'anate, though.
Right. But do your memories go back to the ones that aren't from the Wahina'i temple?
No.
So you only have the one piece, just like I only have the red flame.
I suppose, if you want to look at that way. Perhaps. I only know of there being one at a time. But again,
So
this world is broken.
Right.
you're supposed to work together then at some point to right the world?
She's a part of the monkish orders. She's a part of the primordial guardians, which I'm a part of.
Right. So if you guys are allies for this big thing, why don't you share the knowledge you have with him?
Long ago, of which there were many texts lost because of time, reasons, and many things, there were shamans that when a time of cataclysm was seen or predicted, a time of great difference and change was upon us, went to places of power and gave unto themselves a sacrifice
We saw this in the book.
and gave themselves to the powers that be of these places of power that represented these forces of nature. And these shamans, with their connection with the world, became something more personified.
Is that a yes or a no?
I don't know.
So you're saying the shamans are what split?
They
Great
weren't.
Flame?
They're not really shamans anymore. It was their spirits.
Was it their sacrifice that split
No.
the beings?
No. The beings split themselves.
Okay.
These natures, it was many, many, many eons later, during the wars with the new pantheon that came upon this world, that
Yeah.
wasn't here originally, and said
The little
that,
thieves. Yep.
and wanted to steal the power of faith and belief and whatever it may be for themselves.
I don't think she wants to talk about Vlad.
No, I think it's bigger than Vlad, honestly.
It's always bigger than that.
Well, yeah,
But
but
the bigger problem is Vlad hinted that there was a way to get rid of the curse.
Yeah.
The Morhirai weren't created.
As much as I wasn't.
No, the Morhirai were created, but they weren't created until much later
By who?
by the Conclave.
The more
So the
wait,
Morhi were made by the Conclave?
which would explain
I know
why,
the Dokenin are.
Both of them were.
which
why
would
have
explain where I've seen the statue.
but why have opposing forces?
No, because you're pulling that from me.
Balance.
No, I'm not.
You,
It's
but
better
you're
way to
pulling
control
it from
things.
my memory.
But then that
of
means that the
another-
conclave has
No, I remember
was
your
not
memory,
always a force for control.
but I saw the statue you're talking about.
But I
from
saw
somebody
the
else's
statue I'm
memory.
talking about.
Right.
But that doesn't mean that memory is not from who you're thinking of.
Christianity, right?
yes.
It still could be a
What
part
if
of my memories
it
from
is
another
A
lifetime.
difference in the conclave.
I'm telling
A
you
difference of opinion.
that I can
Difference
differentiate.
of ideas.
It's possible. I do know of one that seemed to, from a former associate and fabulous friend, who seems to have split off in their general journey, we'll say, from the conclave.
Maybe that is the reason behind the dual balance.
But why start with the Morhi in the first place? What, created at the same time or not the same time?
No, not at the same time.
Not the same time.
But
Okay, more synthetic later.
also, yes. at the
And then
same
why did the knowledge get lost?
It's hard to organize different generations of thought. I'm sorry.
If you let me, I might be able to help that.
How? I'm sorry. If you're even the prospect of that idea is concerning, and I'm sure you understand why.
No. However,
No, he doesn't.
That is a Meckel answer.
No.
I can help you. Why would I be concerning?
yeah.
The forces
you could
of the
die.
primordial beings that became personified after the sacrifice of the shamanic powers.
Okay.
Those are the four great powers: earth, air, fire, water, split themselves to survive. To fake their deaths, maybe, or just to flee and to not be destroyed by the unrelenting forces of the new pantheon, but that was eons after they were created and they were birthed into this world, as were at the same time many of the races that now exist.
If I may,
The world was not this. It was just my kind.
I feel like we're talking a lot about sensitive information right out in the open. Can we maybe go somewhere a little bit more private or something?
Oh, sure.
If
She takes from her sash, she takes one of the tears and she throws it onto the ground, and a ghostly like stairwell appears out of nowhere that appears to go up into more solid stairwells. And both you and Zemdak recognize.
He's
You recognize this as the endless stair.
Does this go under her brain?
where does it go?
No. I start walking up the
To my temple.
Oh,
Okay, so before I go in, I'm curious about something. So, when you were showing him, because you did say with the detect thoughts, I saw the motes and
You
everything.
saw, yeah,
So I was able to see some of the stuff that you were doing with him. You should try doing that with me.
Don't.
don't do.
Was that what? Did you just yell down the stairway? No! No!
I didn't. I have little legs. I am not
Yeah.
made of very far. It takes me a long time to get up that many stairs.
Because, like you and her, I was also created by the Conclave.
I said I
Are you
started
another-
the same way.
I don't sense damnation from you. Are you sure?
I look at Shade.
Yep.
But I have also seen the statue he speaks of, just not in his memory, which I also have.
It's a long story. Why don't we talk about it upstairs?
Because I'm afraid if we go up there, we're entering into her, which would cause problems with us.
Are we going into your mind?
No.
Okay, then no.
We're going
it's fine.
thousands of miles away.
Oh, excellent. And we can go. I have it
I
prepared
can't get
today.
you back though. So
That's okay.
Wait,
Look,
what?
I can get us two bebas today if we need to. I have the magic. So we go
you have
there.
the circle
Yeah.
for Babas.
We
I do.
There's a lot of.
And I'm
paths
gonna
we can
point
go.
out, I'm with them.
Yep. You are. Oh, you sense this open?
No, I'm talking about.
Nothing like. Oh, but this is like a spatial portal. Your body doesn't react at all. This is not well wall shit. This
Oh,
is something
so-
completely different.
So
this
is
is
that
fully
Thraz is
spiritual.
like Thraz is like on the stairs, like
Yeah.
trying to scratch it and figure out what the hell this is.
At one point, like out of the peripheral of the edge of where these stairs begin, one of those spirits comes out and just grabs your wrist and is like, "Stop it," and then just fades back into the stairs.
Wrong
Too, I'm
frying pan?
curious, but like this is.
Are we going
This
to
is, like,
bring
fully
War with
spiritual.
us or just
He's
leave him
not
there?
I would
right.
bring word.
Let's bring her.
Where is Were? Oh, Were.
Well,
Okay, not the other one.
It should feel like my body is asleep. It is. You know when you lay on your arm for too long and the pinpricks?
I'll pinch him.
I don't
it should
care
feel
where.
like that. It
I
doesn't
look.
feel like that. It
I
is
don't
wrong.
care where
Oh,
it is
you
we
mean-
go. It's fine.
That pull that like
Thank you
little
for healing
tingly
me.
thing that happens.
Can you?
They are here and I'm
Is it only a
here.
little tingly
You don't
for
have a
you?
whole
It
lot
is-
to worry about unless
Depends.
what we're after comes after us.
Definitely depends.
Can
we'd all be
you-
in trouble anyway.
Not to be arrogant or anything, but we are quite powerful.
What you did earlier, that was a great example of
We could go home.
Control it.
What do you call home?
Where
Paradise.
No.
No, we're
I
not
want
going
you to
back
answer
there.
that question. Actually, where do you call home? You said you were created by the Conclave. Where?
Paradise.
It's a fucking hole in the ground.
It's
The burrow.
the burrow. It's a. Here,
I
let
don't
me
know what
show
that
you about where we
It's-
think it
It's
is.
in the sands.
Let me just pull out the map, the old map.
She
Point
looks
about
at it.
There's a little town there that's ran by
map?
one of the
Yeah.
Conclave.
Yeah. Here you
Which
go.
one?
Doctor.
He starts. You see him pull out stuff, and he starts actually like sketching a map and like adding things to it.
It's old, just so
The
you know.
doctor created you?
In a way.
He's the reason I can't read.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You are shorter than others that I have encountered.
Thank you.
He's not. I don't think he's Dorkennen necessarily.
Well, he's male. Of course he's not.
Silly me. I
Ouch.
I don't know. It's interesting. Don't go into his mind.
assume
It's
gender.
weird. Sorry, based on your descriptions, Argus, it's not. Yeah. But
And now I sit down the stairs.
can we go? We can talk more about this. Yeah. Is everybody okay with that?
Someone's helping me with war,
Probably
right?
Like 12.
I'm sorry. What?
Well, someone's gonna help me with war.
Yeah. Here.
I've used up all my telekinetic shit, so okay.
Here.
The work can move itself.
Oh, because it got healed, right? We got mended.
Shade.
Like,
Can you?
But Shade
Stand up.
has to do that.
And Thraz just looks at you like,
Shade
"You
says,
moron."
Shade says, stand up, and we're just stands up.
All
Come
right.
here. War comes over to Shade. Hold this. Hands him a kebab.
Feed me.
Oh,
Feed me.
yeah.
All right. Great. Well, we don't have to carry anymore.
Okay, perfect.
Zemnick's in there.
No, he's
Right,
in my
this
pocket.
is actually quite useful.
I assumed that's fine. It's
The only thing that's
okay.
even close to how tall I am.
Log and I are not short shrimp, you know.
Yeah,
I'm 8 feet tall.
He's 7 and I'm 6.
I'm actually 8.5.
You're 8.5 feet tall.
I think so.
No,
Oh,
you're
shit.
not.
I'm pretty sure.
There's no way I gave you 8.5. Absolute no.
No, because bugbears can be up to like 9 or some ridiculous shit. Maybe it's 7.5. I have to double check.
I don't remember.
It's
I'm 14 and a half feet tall.
Log is still tall.
Yeah, like
Either way, Log is tall as shit.
yeah.
I'm 4.
He smells. He doesn't. They don't.
That's very valid.
I can't verify that, so
I don't
that's
want
fair.
to go.
7.5. Yeah, 7.5. 7.5.
I don't really want to go there. If that's, I know where that is, and that's literally a place where I am hated extremely. Why would I ever go there?
I've never heard of you before.
Are you welcomed by Kyra? If you're
Looks
welcome.
at Kyra. Shrugs.
I mean, I feel like just general, like, hosting kind of stuff. I mean, I don't know what's going on with your order, but I feel like you might be protected a little bit, but...
Takes
Oh.
the kebab, hands it to Wur. I have a better idea.
Okay.
Takes the scythe, throws it up, opens up. It eats her all the way down to like her ankles, and then she pulls it out, and she's not Shade anymore. She is a Ibkest woman that is about like 1.5 feet shorter, with kind of turquoise skin and basic villager garb,
That's not
does she
even
look-
remotely funny.
holding a like she just disguised her scythe as like a pitchfork that she's holding on her back with like a traveler's backpack.
Is it the same blue Ibcast woman as the memories that others have witnessed
Maybe.
before?
It's real. You can touch it.
I'm not touching that.
I mean, that's magic. It's fine.
I would go get her a hug, but I'm on top of
I
this.
mean, this will probably,
How long can you do that?
for me,
Yeah.
I have a moment to myself as long as I need to.
Okay. That's really cool. I want to pick your brain later. And
No,
that's
my
fair.
brain is mine. I've had enough picking.
I didn't mean
thought
it
we
like
talked
that.
about picking it
Figurative.
up.
Yeah, we
How
did talk
picture.
about that, but we can talk about that later.
I will not let you, too many probes have already
No,
been
no, no,
inside my
no.
brain.
I just wanted to share notes. I picked the wrong
Verbiage.
verbiage. My apologies.
I don't understand nuance. I didn't grow up in society.
I had a brief stint where I didn't either, so my apologies. It's okay. Let's go upstairs, yeah? Yeah,
Sure.
let's do it.
This
Okay.
will fool
It is
most, but not
overrated,
all.
in my opinion.
The
There are
brass
days.
retreat, I think,
Yeah.
is the name that you guys might know it as. Outside of, yeah, I had to look that up.
The brass retreat is the name of one of Doctor's strongholds within the borough. Shade says.
Yeah,
That-
that's home.
The
Well,
borough
maybe
is
not
your
now.
home. I
Well,
suppose.
the brass retreat is sort of.
Is it still home for you, do you think?
I thought I was your home.
Oh, no.
Oh my God! I will give him a big hug.
So
Probably an
y'all,
overlong one, actually.
I love the bromance over here.
so y'all walk up the endless stairs.
But before I go up, Steve's on.
Who's this?
You walk up the. It's Steve Zahn.
I gotta look this guy up.
Yeah, I gotta show me when you. Cause I don't know them by their names. You walk up the endless stair.
There's an H in Zahn.
Glimmer of what was the different reality and space fades behind you. There's quite
That's
a few
who I
stairs.
thought
There's
you were
a
talking
good like
about.
200 stairs before you
I've heard it pronounced
finally
other
actually reach to the
ways,
top
but
of the
yes.
stairs.
Yeah, I don't-
and there are something
maybe-
like
maybe I'm not pronouncing
was
it
it
right, but-
19,000 stairs in the
Without any effort
in the
to
endless
pronounce
stair, or
it.
something even more than that. I
I don't
don't
know
have
that's
the
right.
number in front of me. But you reach the top of the stairs, and there are two very large sentinel constructs here. Ones that were made of pretty much like early Zek-Tech construction, not made to move, but made to stay where they are, affect the air, throw boulders down. These were the things that helped stop the advancement of the war from the from the Selendian Empire. And they stand flanking this wall that's carved out of so there's this wall that's carved out of the side of the mountain. Once all of this is carved, the stairs carved out of the mountain, this platform where like a dais gets flat for a little bit, and there are these two sentinels that sit on either side of the end of the stair, and it goes forward, this flat, and then there's this wall that's carved out of then the now further in mountainside, but so is the top of it too. So that's like there is an open air plaza past this wall, and then there's another wall past that perhaps goes into the interior, like underground into the building, or whatever it may be. But it's all carved out of the actual stone. Nothing was made here. It was just chipped out of the stone. There's this beautiful monastic wall here that has this circular door, as far as you can tell, that has all of these monastic and primordial languages and circles and artistry upon it, and things of balance, recognizing water and fire and earth and air. And there's this large print of a goat's hoof on the center of the door, all embossed. There is anybody hear of elven lineage?
Maybe.
So there's
No, that's
similar to how in the Never-Ending Story, those two Sphinx gaze still look at Atreyu as they move past.
I'm not of elvish lineage. I'm just from a very elvish populated region.
Yeah, you're fine when it comes to this type of thing. You're also so ambiguous with other shit that's going on with you. But the gaze of these sentinels just watch you pass before it gets past the point where they can look at you, and then they return their gaze.
What are the two sentinels look? What do they look like?
They look like extremely tall, more basically constructed Zek-Tech,
Okay.
made out of more stone than ironwood.
Didn't we
Okay.
see them in the prison?
Or did you see them
Like
in
the
prison?
Conclave prison? My memory's failing me. I don't remember.
Those are like
thought we
golems. Those are like
Yeah,
golems.
those were
really-
golems.
No, those were
golems.
golems. Yeah, those were
This
golems.
is Zek-Tech similar to
I thought you were
Revik.
talking
Yes.
back in
Zek-Tech was a
Dean.
Revik was a Zek-Tech.
Yeah.
These are the Sentinels. those of you who are familiar with it, Argus, you're familiar with this. Zemdek, you would be familiar with it just because of how the Razor Fang came to be. It doesn't matter whether you're there or not, you still know this stuff. The Razor Fang agreement came to be by the dwarves and the gnomes working together of craftsmanship and ingenuity, and were one of the ways that they were able to keep, and with the aid of this geographical barrier, to keep the Islandia Empire at bay, was to construct these sentinels, these massive, massive statues that can be animated when triggered and thought that there is a threat. You also know, just because it is common knowledge, that 2 of the sentinels were gifted to the temple that was here long before the Razor Fang Agreement ever was signed, to help protect the monks, as the monks also protected those that could not protect themselves. They did not take sides in the war, but they did their best to protect the innocent when they could. And so sentinels were put as a gift to the monks because they still helped. And these sentinels are extremely powerful. It doesn't matter if they are how many thousands of years old, they were made to last. And so these things can move so fast with such great effort and with so much mass that they can create like sonic booms of waves that can go all the way down the mountainside and knock people over, like great battalions even, like push them away just with like a force of their hand. Not to mention that they can pick up massive boulders and just like chuck parts of the mountain down the mountain miles and miles and miles away. So they are the air superiority artillery of the mountain range that is smart, but they don't move from where they are.
So,
but they line the entire mountain range on this side.
So there's more than just 2?
Oh yeah, there's thousands.
Oh, okay.
There's thousands of them, and they are at a certain altitude among the whole west side of the Razor Fang mountain range. But here you only see 2.
Oh, okay.
Because they flank the endless stair. The end of the endless stair, you only see 2. We're talking about like the entire Razor, which is tens of thousands, perhaps miles long from north to south. They line the whole west side of it because they were like the artillery for the ancient war, and they are still there. Almost all of them, if not all of them, are still functional. So yeah. There are 2 specifically made. You don't ever see 2 this close because they're spread out for good reason, but they're there because they were a gift. So
as we're walking up these stairs forever and ever and ever, I'll try to catch up or slow down enough to where Trishani
Shani.
Trishani, whatever.
No, it's not whatever. I
Yeah.
mean, like,
It's
there's
just
an E.
an S
I
sound.
can. I would write it out for you, but you can't read.
Yeah, go ahead and write it out for me.
You can't read. Okay, we're gonna do like hooked on phonics or something with you. You know, that's
It's still reading, isn't it?
No,
we're doing sounds.
it's phonologic awareness. It's not actually reading.
Follow Lolic.
Phallic awareness. Yep.
You can still learn how to pronunciate things correctly without the letters.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yes.
And I will kind of whisper this to you. I'm a little worried that if all the rest of the Doctor's creations or the Conclave's creations have anchors and whatnot in all of their creations, that Doctor might know where she is at all times too.
What her shade is?
No, the other one. If they're both creations. I know Doctor has his anchor in shade. That's pretty clear.
It depends.
you saying this out loud?
Just to
I'm
me.
just whispering it to her.
Sure.
It depends.
Take that as you will. It is Meckle.
I'm watching their lips as I'm walking
Oh, yeah.
upstairs.
Does he trip and fall off?
It depends on what
No,
time.
I mean you guys were only like 200 steps from the end.
Yeah.
They didn't she put you up there, not at the bottom of the endless stair.
Oh.
Make you climb it. That would take you days and her a couple minutes.
It's not a bad idea, but I do wonder if it depends on timing of things, right? Because like overall,
You don't
They
know
could have
it's
been-
the
they-
Doctor who made them.
she just said.
No, she said the conclave made
Conclave.
it, not necessarily the doctor.
Right. Also,
Doctor could be
Argus,
trying to grab
damn
us.
your lip reading sometimes.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Are you like yelling down from the?
I'm doing that. I'm whispering really
Is
loud.
this
Yeah.
is this what they call rudeness?
Yeah.
It's one.
We're used to it.
Says log.
But yeah, it's not necessarily a doctor made them. I mean, we could just ask her. I feel like she's willing to share some things with us.
Okay.
anyway.
Hey, do you think
There
the
you go.
doctor knows
Who are you
that
talking to?
Kira?
Okay. Sorry, you gotta give me a little bit
Yeah. I'll just.
Hey,
talk-
you.
So,
Hey,
Talking to
you.
me, talking to you.
General.
so just pick one. No.
If there's a kebab, then it's
Kira, I'd
shade.
be like,
Right.
so I know Doctor had his anchor or whatever you call it, whatever she calls it, stuck in both myself and Shade. Is it stuck in you too? Do you need me to check? Because usually that means that he can be able to kind of like find you and stuff.
His main question is, was the doctor the one that created the Moirai?
Right. Rather than just the conclave.
What?
Okay.
Just answer my question and answers his question.
Yes. That.
No.
There you
Do
go.
you know who in the conclave made the Moirai?
Conclave itself had a
The
decision.
conclave is multiple people.
Yeah. No. They
But who
a
created
council
it?
of people decided to
But who created it?
technically
Yes.
the first people.
The
Humans.
first conclave?
No, the humans. Technically, we did. We were here before everyone else.
But we didn't. But humans didn't create the Moirai. Right? The
No, we
conclave
kind
created
of
the
did.
way that the genetic memory manifests.
No.
Can we?
How did the conclave create the Moirai?
The
Wait.
conclave is responsible for organizing the Moirai as it was.
So the Moirai was pre-conclave.
No, because the conclave was still.
Yes and no.
Can we talk about this upstairs? As long as the doctor himself can't
You
follow
mean
you.
doctor? Got to get these names right. As you just told me.
There's a title and a name. We don't know. The doctor is not his actual name.
Yeah, he has an actual name.
That was perfect.
I just see
hate your carpal tunnel immediately.
I just see Trishani rolling her eyes as you say that to her. No, I made the conscious decision there for that one.
Yeah, no, she rolled my eyes
Yeah.
for sure, real hard. Yes, doctor, the doctor, but he goes by a different name. I promise you, because that would be absurd for him just to go by like one moniker.
Kira,
That's
do
just
you know doctor's
sorry.
real name?
No.
Okay, just wondering.
Anyway. As long as he's not listening.
Anybody, I doubt anybody from the conclave even know.
That's weird.
Backwards to his
Have you ever heard of?
to dig into his past.
Well, from what we've seen, I bet you we could. But I'm more interested to know how we both remember the same statue from
Because you
different.
got it from my mind.
I did. That's what
You
I'm
got
telling
it
you.
from my
you
mind.
have a taste. Okay, if
Right. I get that.
Have you ever heard of the ship of Theseus?
Can I roll for that?
Sure.
I mean,
it was in a book somewhere.
This is our history too. Granted, it's somewhat fictional,
by
but
the way,
also not.
you said Sisyphus's flame earlier. Did you mean Prometheus's flame?
I did
Yes.
mean Proteus. Sisyphus is the one that pushed the
You
boulder.
were,
into
just,
the
you were just having a really deep moment, and I
It
didn't want
was-
to
it
interrupt
was-
to ask that
I let
question.
that go too. It was
It
fine.
is flaming sphere is the same thing.
I
26,
meant Prometheus' flame. Yeah.
26 for history.
26. It is this like old fable. Now it's Greek, so from my type of culture, but for now. But just in this type of thing, as far as it comes to analogy, the story of how there was this very old ship and people wanted to keep it the way it was and wanted to keep repairing it because it meant so much to them, and it brought them to a new world, or just like, a new place where they could thrive. And so they continually kept repairing it, or it doesn't really matter what the actual story was, but as far as every piece of it kept getting replaced.
Yeah,
Oh,
if,
that
if you
point.
At
if
what
you
point
replace
is it the
broom
same
and-
ship?
if you
At what point
replace
is it
the
a new
broom and the
ship?
bristles
Yeah.
of a or the handle of a broom,
Hold on.
yeah.
At what point is it the same ship? after you've replaced so many pieces. If you've replaced every piece of lumber and every timber on it, is it even the same ship?
What's the name of that riddle again, just so I can...
The ship of Theseus is what the story is about. Even TJ right now is actually blanking on the actual story, but it doesn't really matter.
It doesn't-
It's the same concept.
No,
Yeah, we got your point.
you've actually broken it down pretty damn
Yeah.
good. Dude.
It's
And-
But,
honestly...
I meant like
Right.
the actual lore behind it, like why they did that, but it doesn't matter.
But it's also your own body breaking down every single cell's replaced every 7 years.
So when she says that, you remember that, and I think you made the connection where you're like, oh, what the fuck does a name even matter? If this person is doing what you think they're doing and replacing so many pieces of themselves to become like greater, different, whatever, are they even the same person? If that's what the doctor is doing, which is apparently what you guys have like realized what is happening. You saw a dragon arm come out of their cloak. Like,
Yeah.
the doctor is
about
probably
this,
the
but
most apt name for it because it is more of an idea than an actual person at this point.
Most of that just went over Meckel's head. Just so you know.
That's what Trisheni gets.
Oh,
She's very
okay.
smart.
Good for you.
So, if I can distill it, I think overall, same person over the years, but is it the same person?
You got it.
Right. Don't
you
think
know
that...
Theseus then. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've studied. I've had a couple of years reading in the libraries and stuff. It's fine, but I
Do you have
think
any
of
books?
yes.
Can we make copies?
No, you cannot.
You can. Why?
I don't care about most of those, just not the ones from Doctor.
Why? Why do you care?
We
I
have some
don't
interesting
know.
books.
Interesting. We
Like
can make copies of definitely certain books,
Like I
and then
said,
we'll
we have
talk.
deep receptacles of much knowledge of history.
Can I spend days down in the library?
What does receptacle mean?
It means
Spend
trash bin.
days down
There you
deep
go.
in the receptacles?
Yes, I would love
You
to.
may, yes.
Okay.
You may delve deep in our receptacles.
To
This
find
spell
secret
feels
knowledge.
masturbatory a little bit.
It sounds that way too.
I know.
You brought me here, all of you.
There are two receptacles, or like just
Rot
like-
or lead?
There are 3 receptacles, 1 per temple.
I'm so excited. But no, sorry, I book drunk. All right, so they're not actually being followed by Doctor. I don't
love that
think.
term. It
Sure,
makes
so I
sense.
think we should be okay. I think we should be okay.
They were
Not-
not made by Doctor.
Yeah.
They don't have a connection to the Doctor.
Okay, but I thought they were supposed to be mirror opposites of each other.
They're mirror opposites,
Right.
but that you don't have mirrors. Don't necessarily have the same makeup.
Why do you
right?
think that we are made by Doctor? Why?
I thought you said that you were made diametrically opposed.
But conclave
The
is not the
order,
same.
technically, of the Morhirai was established by the conclave, but it was already existed without a proper. It's yes and no. It was before, but also then established. Why do you think that the Morhirai were created by the Doctor? Why?
Because you said it was made by the Conclave.
The
Right.
conclave is not the Doctor. The conclave is a council.
Right, but he's used to Doctor is the maker of the Dokenenrai, so he.
Why
believes-
specifically do you think that we were made by the Doctor?
I don't
Because
know.
he's not the brightest candle in the church.
Because he was made by the Doctor. Dorken and Rai were made by the Doctor.
And I'm
The Jeken and Rai were a copy of us.
Who were maybe, at least what we've pieced together so far,
Copied work.
copied work by a great enemy Jin.
You see, like, Shago.
so look.
But then they don't matter. 'Cause
So now
plagiarism
that you
doesn't
were
matter.
in your safe space, look into my mind. Do the same thing you did to him, except you're not going to find flames.
Are you a keeper?
I don't know.
He might have a moat.
He's a Meckel.
Can we perhaps do
Thank
that?
I'm
Why
curious.
does it tickle me so much?
Because it's the same as Tis a Bindle.
We're gonna talk about this during
Yes.
Bird Ends.
Or 'tis a pickle.
Noelle started crying. Okay.
But like, Perhaps before you delve into his mind. No
can't
offense, we just get to
delve
a
into
safe
mine.
place.
Oh, I thought we were.
I don't know
in a
why
safe
you
place.
think I can delve into minds. I just
Because
saw the
I
truth.
can
Wait.
open the door to mine, and you can just walk right in.
We have a tether. I wonder if
Do you want
want
to just sit down on the stairs and we can just talk? Like, what is? do you
Are
wanna
we having
go
a stoop
inside? Do you
session?
wanna-
Are we stooping?
What?
Are we having a stoop session?
Can stoop? You want to stoop?
I mean, that's what you do
Well,
when you
I
sit
thought
on
we were
stairs.
in a
Sounds
safe
stupid.
Where's the
I
safe
spend,
location
I
to
spend
talk?
like 20% of my life on these stairs.
Okay. Oh, all right, let's
But are they
stoop it
safe?
up.
I can.
All right, so I will find a stair.
Are these stairs safe? She says to one of the sentinels, and the sentinel goes,
Not with that. I'm talking about from eavesdroppers, from other people.
no,
Right. Let's go someplace safe.
because we just recently had an incursion.
What happened?
Should we talk about it
Somebody
somewhere
was sent
safe?
here to do a thing by a organization,
Okay.
and then their body was found on the stairs.
Can we talk more?
Which organization?
Which body?
Supposedly the Noxetra,
Okay.
and a body of, well,
Do we know what the Noxetra?
not the
what-
body of
Yes.
those individuals, but
Yes.
Okay.
one of ours was found. One of our early initiates was found dead on the stairs,
Was all of your
and
initiate found?
a group of individuals hunted down the one that was supposed to be. Well, actually, no. They attempted to hunt down, but they had seen visions from what the Sentinels had seen because they were able to connect somehow. I'm not sure how. Not even I can. But they were able to see visions of a dark elf that had somehow had some connections to the Noxetra and someone named Devleader.
Wait, what?
Can I'm
what?
Wait, I'm so sorry. I'm paranoid. Can we please go somewhere that's completely safe from eavesdropping? I didn't prepare my normal
There is no
spell
such
today.
place, but we can go to the inner cloister if you desire.
Is that where the receptacles are?
I mean, I can.
It is near where the corridor that leads to the receptacle. The long corridor then turns and then leads to the receptacle
I didn't prepare that spell
of
today.
knowledge.
I know how that feels.
I don't know. I know. I could look. I could pull it. We could do it right now if we
No, we
wanted.
don't want to pull it.
Pull what?
Well,
The receptacle.
we are stupid now.
More the wood. More the.
All right, let's go up
That's
the
on
stairs.
that's on log if we're gonna pull the receptacle, 'cause that's where he is.
I was saying that I could. Okay, I didn't prepare Sky Lounge today.
Don't rip it out of your book.
I
Don't rip it out of your book.
okay. All right.
Let's just go up the stairs. I mean, we're almost there.
Yeah, let's go upstairs. Maybe a little bit more.
These walls have never been penetrated.
Except by the Noxetra.
But you just said you had
Yeah?
an incursion recently.
He did that with a
Outside
straight
the
face.
walls, on the stairs.
That you know
So what you're
of?
saying is no one's ever penetrated your receptacle.
No, well, that as well, but farther before
Is
the
Zemdak saying this
receptacle,
from like?
penetrated the walls. Not even the inner plaza.
Log's pocket just.
I'm gonna point this out. That was said by the dude in the pocket dimension, dude. She heard none of that.
Adam
Write
is
that
just,
from the record.
Adam is just like, hey, you gotta talk now.
Let's go.
The hole's
You
open
still
enough
hiding
you
in
can
there?
hear.
With
I'm asleep at this point.
I mean, it is daytime.
Yeah, because we're
We are
nocturnal.
tired.
So we need to go to bed soon.
These walls
Also.
have never been.
Don't say penetrate.
Why?
breached.
Breached.
Surmounted.
Sure.
There you go.
These walls have never been breached, neither has the receptacle. The Sentinels help with
Can
this,
we-
but there's
Let's
also
go through the
a
receptacle
wealth of
so we
monastic
can breach
training.
your walls. What? Let's just go.
Diction is really important.
What
That's
now?
a- Diction. Yes, you got me, Log. All right, let's go.
Take a break. I need to take a break.
You need a diction break.
I have a dice-shaped bruise now.
I was trying so hard not to lose it there.
Okay.
Yeah, good times. Good times.
No.
Let's come back to it.
Okay.
Woosa.
Can we find ourselves somewhere like
Somewhere.
All right,
Somewhere where we're
in
not
the
making
inner-
comments like this.
God damn it, Matthew.
Right. I'm just trying to move it along.
So Kyra
Or
turns
ready,
around
ready.
and she creates a hand like this. And she shut up. And she hits the door and like appears to infuse some key with it as it goes in a little bit and goes, and you just sense this otherworldly kind of power that emanates through it before it and rolls out of the way, and it relinquishes the blockage of your vision to show a plaza, like an inner martial arts plaza of tile and stone, masterfully worked, where many other monastically robed peoples appear to, of which a veritable assortment of races and creeds appear to be practicing like their forms and sparring and weapons training. Yeah, like a dojo, okay, outdoor plaza dojo. Very few of them, if any of them, pay you any mind as the door opens. All of these people, or at least a very vast majority of these people, are seasoned, well, perhaps not seasoned, but well-trained martial artists. And apparently nobody can open the door unless they have the power of key. So anybody who would come here, they don't seem like oh, who's at the door? Like they just keep doing what it is that they're doing. They seem unbothered by your presence, most of it. She steps through, and she just looks at all of you for a moment. She looks at Shade. And she looks past and through all of you, and then to Shade. None of you have ever stepped foot here. The Grandmaster won't be fooled, but I'm sure you know that. Perhaps even the Immaculates might not be. You step forward at your own risk.
I'll vouch for her. I'll go stand in front of Shade.
That's noble. But
No, she's my sister, and I've God on my side.
Argus rolls his eyes.
gods are not. Never mind.
I think you might have more in common than you think, honestly.
I can't protect you if you step forward, is what I mean.
It's fair.
Not you. I mean, you are civilians. But her.
I'll extend my hand
Do we
towards Shade.
Do we have a location that we can go talk in private?
She's like, come on.
I'll actually grab her hand.
Oh.
Yep, and then kind of like take her beyond the threshold.
Oh my god, I've just got the image of the big sister being dragged by the little brother.
Well, I guess this is happening.
Yeah.
You drag her through. There's like a couple people nearby that are like just kind of shake and shiver for a moment. Like
I
something
will
ran up
stare
their
them
spine.
down.
They don't look at you. They just be like, whew. I feel like they had like a chill go up their spine for a moment.
Where are we going?
Step
To
through.
talk.
No, I know that, but cervix or something?
There was no mention of this.
A receiving chamber.
Same thing.
You say cervix,
It's-
and the guy who's trained in medicine starts laughing his ass off.
Are you hungry?
Could always eat.
All right, we can go to the mess.
Is there bacon?
No, we're all vegan.
Fuck.
We
I was in the
don't
mood for
hurt the
fish.
people. We don't hurt the creatures of this
Damn
world.
it.
Plants are creatures.
What? I mean, you could have roasted
We
corn.
don't kill them. We only harvest for them and then let them continue to grow.
So if you just lop a leg off a cow, it's okay?
What?
I have hands. It's okay.
I think we need
I
to
told
talk
you
more.
he is not the brightest candle in the church.
Correlation. That's not. No. It's completely different for.
He grew up very sheltered.
Haven't you ever heard the plant scream? It's the same thing.
Yeah. I have. We do our best to be ethical about it.
I don't know what she means.
Dead and down. We pick up what they drop.
Then why don't you just do a bunch of good berries every day?
Or eat carrion.
Or use spells to create food and water?
Wait, you eat
We don't
with
have
the
mages.
drop? That does not sound appetizing.
Not
Might need
droppings.
to be
Just
Just like berries, acorns, you know,
Rice.
that kind of thing.
Slight
beans,
misunderstanding.
Legumes. Nuts.
God.
I'm glad he broke before I did.
Yeah. I'm not hungry so much anymore.
Just eat your nuts and be quiet.
Yeah.
It's weird. I'm ravenous. Let's go.
Let's go to the cloister or cervix or whatever it's called.
The mess.
Let's go to the mess hall. Yeah. It actually has been a while since we've eaten, I think, right?
Besides good
You all look
berries?
very
If you
tired.
say so,
I
as
don't
I'm
want
eating a kebab.
Also, dude, you've been holding out. Like, where's the kebab? Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll open up my backpack, which actually has, like, instead of extra clothes,
Just
and,
a
like, all
bunch of extra kebab.
whole
Just
thing of
wrapped in butcher paper.
Yeah, just a whole bunch of kebabs. I think I
Trishani-
have some sauce in here left, too.
What are you doing
Cool.
to Cole's backpack?
Trishani's eye just starts like twitching because it's been a couple days underground too prior to this.
Oh, no, these are all fresh. I got them last time we were in the
Uh huh.
temple.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
You're about to literally go back underground.
I know. No, no, we're not necessarily.
Yep.
He's like,
Here we are. The inner wall goes into the mountain.
Yeah. Trishani's eye is just
That's where the
twitching.
mess is.
That's all.
The only thing that's out, like open air, is the plaza.
I think
of the
Trishani was telling you
training
no,
plaza.
she's not going back into the mountain because that's what she needed to say.
I do offer you a kebab.
She's going into denial.
Yes.
Yeah.
River in the desert.
Exactly. Exactly. Ah, this is wonderful. Okay. Nom, nom,
Fighting
nom.
it up.
Ooh, spicy meatball. Okay.
We are.
Don't eat that cold.
It is better. You're right. It's like cold pizza versus hot pizza. You don't. It's yeah.
Meckel, you get like jostled by an elbow because you are in the way.
Oh,
As people are practicing, go like, you should probably move quickly through this. They're not going to just get out of you're in the way. Move.
I look at the people, look at Shade. I'll be fine.
No, move. Please move quickly. Like these people are trying to practice.
Oh, rude.
Exactly.
Let me be clear. You're the one being rude.
Oh, no.
Okay?
I don't know where the hell I'm going.
We're
Okay.
just
Follow.
Follow.
Keep
You're
up.
behind me.
Oh my goodness.
follow her. It'll be okay.
I'm over here now.
Okay.
like 2 seconds later.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Damn, she's fast.
Yeah.
We all are.
I still have Shade's hand.
Just because it's in Thraz's nature, as he's walking through there, he's gonna pick some random guy who's attacking and just add an extra attack into his practice.
Okay, cool.
Fun.
I'm gonna say let's roll like a charisma check to see how this shakes out.
Okay. That's not gonna be good.
Punches the guy next to him.
Yeah. 13.
13.
Because I have the same charisma score as Zemdak now.
We're doomed.
I think you just like step on the ground behind this person, and the energy follows the grout beneath the tiles, and then charges this person as they go, and an extra like, very Necromunda style. Through bullet time, another flurry of blows out of nowhere, just complete. You can still see the after image of the other. Just gut checks the other person, and this person goes and gets knocked back about like 20 feet, and you're like, oh. This person's very, very proud of their arm.
Referred to now as the tower.
Someone that looks to be of like higher rank comes by and like nods at them and starts to pull something out, and like they look like they're getting a promotion to like the next level of monastic.
Oh yeah, this is totally just Thraz being Chaos's child right now.
Yeah. You've caused someone to be more responsible than they're ready for.
Yeah.
That won't end badly.
I'll be fine.
So you enter. This is taking far too long. So you enter the temple. You are led to the mess. There is rice and beans and cauliflower and other types of things that are.
I scrape some of the kebab off into the rice bowl.
Okay, you do that.
I drop some into my pocket.
The rice and beans or the kebab?
The rice and beans. I'm trying to give him something.
He doesn't eat food.
A complete
Occasionally
protein.
you'll pour water.
You have the hole in your pocket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to open the hole for
It's-
it to like.
Right.
closed
But you're
at the
assuming
moment.
that
Right,
Log
but I-
understands that.
Oh, long as
But
he's
as
just.
far as I'm just like, I've seen Zemdak feed his mimics through his pocket, so I'm just like,
you're just shoving wet rice and beans into your pocket.
So long.
Gotta get you out of there, dude.
It's now not just like rolled up, but it's like a burrito. Like it's got rice and beans.
It's a burrito that's like all squished.
You see like
chode-like
just, like
now.
a little bit, like a little bit of rice just like fall through the hole.
What was that? Swiss cake roll?
It's like a single grain that just
Yeah.
hits you in the nose. You're like, what?
It just falls in the sand. You're not
Yeah,
gonna
it
find
just falls in the sand. And you're like, what? Oh, but you're a vampire, so you have to find it because a piece of a grain of rice just fell in front of you. So you have to find the fucking grain of rice.
No, you have to count it.
You have to count it, so you got to find it first. So you're sifting through the sand trying to find this one grain of rice.
It's a vampire thing.
Yeah. It also works on demons.
Okay.
Just
I'm going with it. It's fine.
And children, they're all kind of the same thing.
So that's what's
demon
happening.
Yes. Well, you know this. You killed the couple.
So you sit down. Kyra has a bowl. She begins to eat. Just like, what else do you want to know?
you said the leader.
Yeah. A member of the Noxetra, supposed to be from Strida. That's where, at least, we sent the information. To get
Bald
it.
fucker.
I don't know what they look like. Only the other group of individuals that came here and saw their image through the Sentinel's eyes, or Sentinel's mind.
So they were one of the infiltrators.
No, they were, from what I understood, just one of the individuals who the infiltrator got their orders from.
Okay.
Or at least the person that they directly report to.
Okay.
And the people that infiltrated were.
And they're all not a part of the conclave?
They didn't make it past the walls, but they were able to assassinate a young initiate that hadn't made it past their test to get it within the walls yet.
And are you sure they didn't succeed at assassinating the person that they were trying to?
I don't know.
Was this Div leader at one point a member of your order?
I am not sure. It would be best of us to check the records, I suppose. That hasn't been something that occurred to us. Why?
Just a hunch.
Roll a deception check. Oh no.
Well, because I have a +7, but I rolled a 2, so
Oh
9.
no. 9? I mean, please. She got a 12 on the die.
I mean, it's totally logged like trying to conceal something from somebody.
No, I have no idea.
No.
I was dead at the time.
I was dead at the
He tracks the log.
Totally.
Kira just looks at you like, we can look through the records together later.
It's probably a good idea.
I agree. Just you and I.
Or maybe
Like a date, like. I mean, like.
She's like raising an eyebrow and she's like, sure.
Just bring your portable
What
hole.
the fuck?
I love that die. That die is such a great story.
funny.
Ridiculous.
Getting a little
Going
log.
a separate.
It's not so little.
She blushes a little bit.
So, Black Ichor, not log. Black Ichor. All right. So,
Sometimes.
we're,
Is that
well,
his
some-
name?
No, that's not
Is
his
that
name.
one of his aliases?
No. So
She's talking about actual ichor.
it's actually this
Sure.
substance. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It is a real threat. We've heard of it. I don't think we haven't fully encountered it. I know my sister has. It's an issue. The world is being created by this. That countdown clock it's a big thing. It's happening on the moon.
I'm sorry, on the moon?
Yes.
we went there.
We went to the moon.
You went to the moon.
Yes.
You went to the moon?
Why do
Yes.
you look so
It was
surprised?
cool, but also very
There was
scary.
a well there.
Do you
Yes.
know other people that have gone to the
To
moon?
find this spot.
No.
Yeah.
Not Taylor.
Do you know
Her.
anybody else that have said they have gone to the moon?
My
I don't
sister.
know where anybody else except for these couple people have been ever.
Well, there's Cole.
Yeah.
This is the
Which
first
we
How
don't-
old are you?
Too young.
You're probably older than me.
20-ish, I guess, but I've
You're
never
older than
left the Brass City before this.
How old do you think you are, Meckel?
The brass retreat.
I
Roll a wisdom saving throw.
Oh my god!
The numbers, they hurt.
Yeah, as Meckel's like, I don't remember reading my birth certificate.
No, you don't.
No.
Can I think back?
I
to
was
all
just
the
asking
ones?
you a question as a player. Not,
Yeah, no, I
not character, but
I-
I triggered it. I'm
I'm
sorry.
gonna say history for this.
I got a 7.
A 7?
I rolled a 2. As I go back and like, shit, I don't.
16.
You're having trouble remembering. Like one of the first things you remember is, "I'll take care of you. I'll save you from this type of thing from the doctor." And you're like having trouble remembering, like,
So you don't remember any of my adolescence?
I rolled a 16 to go
16.
look back in his memory.
you are like become a little bit disturbingly aware that there's just nothing there before his adolescence. At least nothing that you can recognize. You just like,
Your memories are blank. Past, like before adolescence.
Is that normal?
you got a
No.
7, right?
Unless you're
so
like
you're
an
just like-
alcoholic toddler.
Yeah, I'm like,
You're like having a crisis
yeah.
over the corner over your bowls of beans and rice.
Well, his has kebab meat. in
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's already gone. I ate that.
Oh,
first.
okay, okay.
Without eating
You
anything
didn't
else to
finish
have the flavor.
chewing the piece that's in your mouth and
Yeah.
you're just having this crisis. Okay. Did you have any more
We have
questions?
no clue.
Well, not questions, but aren't you curious about the Iker?
I mean,
It
sure,
seems
but
to
I
be-
have a lot more pressing concerns.
I'm telling you, it is a pressing concern because at 1:30 p.m. on the 22nd of Daikal, the clock is going to end and something terrible is going to happen.
Are any of those potions Icar-like that we got from Doctor?
Doctor's potions?
All those that we... I don't know if we
That's
really
a
looked at them
good-
very well.
That is a good question.
You have potions.
You have how many left do you have?
Well, I drank one.
Yeah, we.
You drank... I think, Log, you drank one.
Somebody kept track of how many you have left, right?
Yes.
It's possible I drank
It's
one.
in
I
my
can't
notes
remember.
from
One
a while
large,
ago.
10 medium, and 3 small.
So there's still
14.
I mean,
So there's a good likelihood I took one.
Well, we were going
my
to...
potions.
One of them looks dark and thick like coagulated blood.
I think we have some in that stuff we got from Doctor. Slabs.
not the
I
same.
don't think it's probably Icar.
No, I seem to remember Doctor getting very excited when he got that.
Okay,
But
can I take a look?
if
I want
it
to
is a
see
potion,
versus mission.
if it's a potion or not, I can tell you.
Well, it was in a potion container, but it has lots of
TJ, which one is it? The small, medium, or large?
It's one of the smalls.
Okay.
I remember him doing something to the top of it.
You hold it up. Thraz, can you please roll a... it's an intelligence check for you with your proficiency and at advantage.
We've been carrying this around
And
with us.
I'm looking at it and comparing it to Miss Shani's memory of the Icar that was coming through the portals on the first of Akiel.
Sure. Same thing.
So
Same
what?
check. Intelligence with
Just having a
proficiency
shitty night for
and at
rolls.
advantage because of you have your sister's memory.
That's much better. That makes so much sense too. 'Cause that's her
With
dying.
proficiency
Yeah.
at advantage, 'cause it's a straight roll, right?
Yep.
Or intelligence, sorry.
Well, it's advantage.
right. No, I did not roll well.
Plus intelligence plus your proficiency.
Right. That's 12.
12.
Because I got a 1 and a 6.
27.
27. Thraz, this looks otherworldly and delectable.
Delectable?
Delectable. You like to collect things, and this is...
Oh, collectible. I heard delectable.
I heard delectable too.
It
Yes.
is. I did say delectable.
Oh,
It is
okay.
delectable because you like to collect things, and this is something that could possibly be a cool component that appears to be otherworldly. Trisheni,
I didn't give that to you.
you're
You
actually
were looking across the room.
you got a 27.
That
Extremely unsure whether
Very
this
interesting.
is the Icar that your sister and you and others that have scribed and seen, or some other type of thick, like
I'm unsure of it with that
you are,
level.
You are unsure,
Yo.
but your curiosity of the 27 leads you to believe that the best way to find it out is to open it up.
It did something funny when I grabbed the Doctor had that. It was weird.
Oh, hold on. Sorry, 1 second. I'm
Okay.
not done. Sorry. One
I
second.
thought you were done.
No. Because of this, because you are embodying your sister's mind when you're doing this as much, your sister is the like, I gotta know what this is. I could possibly use this type of thing. Whatever it is, you definitely sense, ooh, this is something I'd like do. It could be, I don't know, maybe, I'm not sure.
Yep.
There's only really one
Yep.
way to know.
Yep.
For you, you have an innate instinct about like, this
Why
is
would we do that?
otherworldly.
We
You have Event Horizon stuff from that too. You sense this is otherworldly. You sense it much more easily because that's like literally your thing. You're a curio collector of like otherworldly nature.
Yeah.
It takes a lot more for you to recognize, but you definitely do recognize it as otherworldly. And because you rolled so high, you're like, gotta. You don't have to. It's entirely up to you. But there's definitely that urge that is there. one of the things I will say is that there is something here where it appears that 2 vials are occupying the same space.
So this is really interesting.
So it definitely intrigues both
Both
twins'
sisters.
brains.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
No.
But
No.
but okay, what if we did it so we're safe?
How are you gonna do that?
It's like they might have a lab here.
Raz hears that and he starts pulling out his alchemist kit and like setting it up.
That's not
Rolling it out on the table. Yeah.
Okay, what if tomorrow we look at it in the Sky Lounge? It's its own little space.
Is
There's
this
the can to get the little,
the
you know.
Ichor that you were talking
what
about?
if it is
We
just
don't know.
the 2 of us that examine it so that way
I don't trust you yet.
I didn't
the
see
least
it
amount of
fully.
people are exposed. That's why I said both, not just me.
exposed?
Well, so look, I think overall, based on what we've heard,
Is this a
it-
contagion?
maybe.
Maybe.
It is otherworldly.
We don't know if this is what the black ichor is. The
But-
black ichor is contagious.
But it's there and it's not there. It is quantumly. It's occupying the same space. Have you heard of Schrodinger and his cat? No. Yes. No. Take that as no.
I know a Schaefer,
Love that.
but he has a pet.
Does he have a
Ocelot.
hamster? Oh, a what?
There's a Schaefer from
Okay.
Tacona that has a pet ocelot.
Well, that's interesting.
How cute.
So this cat, if you observe it, she just goes off. But on a diatribe, just talking about this. But
First of all, we haven't even tried to identify this thing yet. We haven't tried anything. You're not just gonna open it.
I'm so curious. All right, we can. Okay,
anybody-
but you're right.
Please. Please.
I can.
Please.
I closed it. I can open it.
No.
No. You don't understand.
okay.
I think I'm the only one, other than Doctor, that can open it.
No. Anybody can open a bottle. It's fine.
You're telling me it's from another world? Do
There
you know how
are
close I am
very
to
unique
banishing this
things
thing?
out there. If he can open it, then maybe he's the only one that can open it.
Wait a second. I saw your eyes light up too. Have you seen something like this before?
No, but it is new and exciting.
Okay, I have 2 on my side for let's open this bottle up. But you're right.
Fraz,
You're right.
actually,
We should act
Point of order.
accordingly.
Can you please roll? I want you to roll a luck check for me. With how much you've spent through the, in between.
Yeah.
I want to see if there's a possibility that you have encountered something like this.
16.
16. You have. Like at least something that looks similar to this type of thing. You have described you have seen something that fits the description of what they're describing. From what you have seen, it is something that has infiltrated one of the well wall continuum wormholes that you have seen and begun devouring it and reached through, and something that you had to run from. And it was not a great experience, but you were also like, whoa, what the fuck was that?
Like I wanted to get to it, but I couldn't, kind of thing.
Yeah, it was like you're like, ooh, I wish I could take a sample, but I'm gonna die, so I'm just gonna run.
Well, so
I
was
cast
up.
exposition and say that all that stuff you just said.
Sure.
to me.
It was like there was very little to
interesting.
say. It was just
Trisha.
like, hey, this looks
Yeah.
like the thing
What
that
if
was
we're
in a
the catalyst?
wormhole that I had to run from.
What if this is what causes the end of the world?
You've seen it twice.
Okay.
Can you?
The first time you saw it, it was in a wormhole you haven't used before or whatever.
You're right.
I can't tell. Is
path.
something written
Guys.
on?
Sorry, one
Well,
second.
Sorry.
Sorry, hold on. Let me just finish this thought before I lose it. The first time you saw it, it was in a path or a place of in between or a travel that you hadn't traversed before. And the second time, it was something that you had traveled, not somewhat regularly, but a couple times before, that then became something that you could no longer traverse because it took it over and started to devour it.
Okay.
So, which to you meant it was growing?
Yeah.
I was up at the time. So do I recognize whatever this ichor is? Because I was up when you were describing stuff.
Right.
Because
Remind me, has the Argent Flame actually ever seen the Ichor?
well, I
out
mean,
of
it's
game?
because the black ichor is something that's been in my
Yeah.
head.
The only reason why you know what it is because when
Machete.
Machete fell through towards the moon and saw
And
that thing
went
that was
through the-
wrapped around it and
the
everything,
whole-
around the well wall that was sitting on the moon, if I remember
Yeah.
correctly.
Yep.
But none of you have actually seen in person the Ichor.
Wait,
it's been C3 pretty much.
Yeah, and then
Tweg
Oscar was
used
describing
to
it.
be Black Ichor.
That's
Yeah.
correct.
So we
That is
have
correct.
Tweg
Yeah.
used to be Black Ichor.
I
once upon
would
a time.
say
and
if
maybe
you
coal in his head, but I don't know that.
or hold on. Gut reaction. This looks very similar, but it's not the same. But it looks very, very, very similar. It looks extremely similar. Tweg themselves did not did not do like Thraz just shared what he was doing. Tweg's never done something that powerful hostile before.
So
Can-
That's true. You
Sorry,
did-
we need to go around the table. I gave you a turn. I gave you a turn. I gave you a turn. Your turn.
Okay, my turn. Doctor gave me some of that stuff, and I put it in the potion bottle, and then he did something to the top of it. So maybe there's some writing or something on the top, but he didn't want to touch it. It was like,
He didn't want to touch it.
yeah, he made me touch it.
Okay. Can you touch it while I read it?
You'd have to open it up.
I have like deep moments, and all y'all can think about is fucking dicks all the fucking time.
I am not thinking of a dick right now.
Matthew,
neither.
I
amazingly enough, none of us died
I don't
laughing
believe you.
other than him bringing it
Yeah,
up.
none of I
None
wasn't
of the
thinking-
children started going off on that.
I laughed. I
laughed because I
laughed.
could totally see the doctor sacrificing Meckel to
Yeah,
touch the
that's
contaminant.
okay,
I mean,
okay.
Expected.
Please continue.
So
That was why I was laughing.
he poured it into my hand, and I put it in the thing,
Okay.
but it came out of nowhere.
What thing exactly?
That
again?
stuff. He poured it into my hand,
Yeah.
and then he had me put it in that bottle,
Oh.
and then he did something to the top of the bottle, and we put it on the rack of stuff. But the stuff that you do is sort of like what he did to the top of that bottle.
Yeah.
so the doctor, from what I gathered, does not like you.
It's a complicated relationship.
That's totally Thraz
Well,
just
I
taking
feel so
that
bad
based
for
on-
Adam because he's like stuck in this fucking shit.
I mean,
I'm not gonna pop my head out and get killed.
Right, I was just like, it seems like it's not safe to pull him out here.
yeah, not in the middle of the mess hall even. Like
I
as,
know,
as delicious as the rice
Thraz's
and beans
comment
are.
is based
I
off of
fed him
what
some
he
rice
knows
and
about
beans.
himself,
Like,
the fact that the doctor poured it into your hand, and
All
Thraz
y'all
thinks
are
it's
past your
dangerous.
bedtime at this moment if you guys have been nocturnal, so you're probably just napping.
That's what I said.
I'll say
well,
after you finally find that one grain of rice,
Yeah.
you're like, oh, finally,
Yeah.
and you pass out into the
No,
sun.
I was asleep. It hit me in the head, and I woke up and like,
So
Had to find
all
it,
I'm
yeah.
saying
and then
is
went right back to sleep.
Yeah.
he may have done something to the bottle, so if anybody other than me or him opens it, it goes boom.
But
Can you hold it while I read it? though?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll grab the
Oscar tell
like
us
by the
about
glass.
all
Sure, by the vial.
infection
Yeah.
situations.
No.
He told us a little bit, but not everything.
Didn't we tell you that the end of the world was because the Ichor spread to
Yeah.
everything?
Yeah.
Here's the I'm holding up the potion thing.
All right, let me take a look.
Oh,
Not touching it. Not touching it.
Thraz is doing the same thing she's doing.
Okay, I actually want one investigation check and one arcana check between the two of you. You guys decide which one is which.
Do I feel anything?
There are four different outcomes
to Arcana
here.
and a 2 to investigation.
Do I feel anything from
I'm the same on both.
vial
so
other than
plus
nostalgia
9.
for the doctor apparently
What do you wanna
entrusting
do?
me with something really?
Nostalgia
Actually,
and
you've been
harm,
rolling
like you
better
could
than me
become whole
tonight.
again.
What do you want to do? And I will do the other one.
I'll do the investigation because your arcana is higher than your investigation. And then,
Okay.
Okay.
Does it seem like me?
Roll a insight check.
Eh.
We're gonna get to that in a second. What did you guys get?
18.
18.
13
I need to
investigation.
know which one.
I got an 18 on Arcana.
Arcana?
13 investigation.
13 investigation. You notice that there is no script on this at all.
Okay.
No script, no tag, no nothing. You roll Arcana. There's something weird about this. That's not just this. And
With seeing something weird,
yeah.
I use my Riven ability and cast True Seeing on it. And use
You
true
cast
seeing.
true seeing on it. Yeah, you got it. As you like crinkle your hand to force some of the dust to come out from like your being and sprinkle it on the vial, and you see that there is a sort of illusory script that becomes holographic over the vial. And it says experiment 16A9.
Experiment 16A9.
I got a 5 on my insight, so.
Okay, you don't know why, but this
A619.
feels right. That's about it. You said it's experiment 1699, and there's more.
I did take a book from Doctor.
That's like
yes.
the larger text. It appears to be like some sort of illusory script that has been hidden or for some reason. And it's very similar to what it is you pull
can
from
try.
your body is very similar to catalyst dust.
Yeah.
So it definitely appears to whatever was able to create something like this definitely had access to some type of catalyst dust, well wall magic, faceless stuff type of thing. Like the doctor has been fucking with a lot of stuff. There's more to it too. It says attempt 43.
This was not the first attempt. This is attempt 43.
Sample 2.
Sample 2.
Okay. We bring up a.
Does that mean anything to you, Michael?
I'm just sitting there staring at this vial.
Argus
Now.
made a very great point. I should
Or
cross-reference the index.
Argus? Right, Argus.
Yes, but she grabbed a book from the doctor. See if we
Feels
can
good.
cross-reference.
Feels right. You opening it up?
I'm just opening it up.
You open it up.
I've been wanting to use that one. That's a good one.
Okay.
I'm cross-referencing Doctor's book.
As
Okay.
I-
So Mako just.
Michael, no! I'm the only one who would know this.
What do you do with it?
just pour it into my hand.
Pour it into your hand. You open it up and you pour it into your hand. It moves around like a bit of a ferrous material that may have like it has that type of like ferromagnetic where when like sound hits it and everything, it creates those kind of like little spikes and bumps. And those types of things. It moves around like that. Appears to have perhaps some sort of its own.
Oh, so it's
Emotion,
kind of a
but it stays within your
Newtonian
palm.
molecule then.
Kind of, yeah. Like but it sits there, and it
Newtonian solution.
does
sorry.
exploratory pseudopods.
I thought you guys
Continually.
said this stuff was dangerous. I don't remember it
It-
moving around like this.
I mean,
In
This-
in the well walls, I had to flee from this. I could not get a sample.
and Macheni saw it taking over the whole well.
I
while it
will
was on the
extend
moon.
my consciousness into it.
You'll try to. Sure.
Try to, yeah.
Yeah.
You can always attempt everything.
Intelligence saving throw, I guess. Yeah, gotta be. As you do so, you just kind of stare at it, and it just forms a pseudopod that comes up like a neck with a small, like bulbous end to it. As it gets closer and closer.
What
to
type of
Michael's
save?
Face. Intelligence.
18.
18. As you just stare deeply into this kind of like goosenecked with the bulbous end of it, just staring deep into it, and it slowly makes contact with the position between your brow and spreads.
I cast banishment on it.
Cash banishment on it. Okay. Charisma saving throw.
Have we been in the mess all long enough to get a short rest?
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, sure. That's fine.
Yeah, I think it might already be too late for that.
Right, but I don't know that.
That is a 17.
That's my AC.
Your DC.
DC, sorry.
So you, and it just like does that little ripple thing where it's as if like you blew really hard on a glass of water, and it does that ripple across its position, but it does not move. It continues to like just kind of like spread.
Does it feel
Onto
like
the
I'm
forehead.
pulling a part of myself back into myself?
It
Like
does.
Can you please put it back?
I'll look at him, say no, and just sort of like breathe in and
No,
try
no,
to
no,
get
no.
it to.
It goes
Yeah.
up into your nose and
I
It's gone.
vortex warp it. Nope.
okay, cool. It needs to roll what?
Constitution.
Constitution and
Is
moving
it really a con save?
Yep.
Yeah, and I move it back into the vial.
You've done that to me too many times.
That's an
I know what that
18.
one is.
That's an 18 for its save.
Motherfucker.
Yeah.
Do I get
Anything
anything
really high for this dude.
back from this now?
We're gonna get to that in a
Oh,
moment.
okay.
Wait, so is it a creature or an object?
We'll see. Seems to be a creature. Creature.
Remember how the
Well, yeah,
the
if I-
idea of like the fetish became like a creature?
If I'm going to use telekinesis to try and do what she did and put it back in the bottle, it matters if it's a.
It is now under its own like movement. It can move. So I would say it would be in this.
Well,
God, I created something that kind of
it could-
defines this.
it could be a
I would
construct.
say for I'm sorry, 1 second. I would say for the purposes of you trying to do stuff, it would count as a creature because it is.
So if I'm trying to,
Purely by.
if I'm trying to
Purely biological,
telekinesis it
correct.
back into the bottle, it would have to do a strength save.
Correct. If that's what the spell says, yes.
Yeah.
Cool.
I will give it advantage
Why?
because he wants
because
it.
it's part of me.
Let's see how this plays out. Let's see how this
Okay.
plays out. Let's see. Yeah, let's see how this plays out because
I've pulled out my like ingredient notebook and I'm taking notes on what happens to him right now for
that's
my
a
medicine
natural
stuff.
20 for its strength save.
Yo, this little ichor has.
It rolled
It's
a
been stuck in
15,
this bottle, and it
a
ain't
16, and a
No.
natural
Oh my God.
20.
These have been like the best storytelling dice that I ever
It's
could have bought.
amazing.
It's up in Meckel's brain.
Yo, you
Yeah, at this point, I've pulled out my notebook and I'm just observing Meckel for.
See?
you
Time.
inhale it like a wolf of Wall Street, and it enters your brain and your sinuses, and it starts to dissolve into you, and you feel like, and you remember some things. You remember.
I will just basically put my hand on your shoulder and just dictate everything that I'm remembering.
Sure, you. It's more visions than it is
Well, right,
words,
but
sure.
describing, yeah.
Yeah. You remember floating in like a 0G environment, suspended in a liquid in a tank, and then it goes further back, and you remember being coddled, and the song being sung to you, and then you remember the vision of that Ibkest woman sprawled onto the cold stone floor, everything from her like navel down opened up and spread out as intestines and way more flesh and other types of materials, like no legs, but just way too much viscera, way too much flesh, way too much innards are splayed out as if like there was a C-section and there was way more than needed to be there. Like no legs, just keeps spraying and flaying out, like bell bottoms just fraying
Oh my
out.
god, is it a C-section that became a vivisection?
It's like it's huge thing. There's no legs. Like this person never had legs, and it was only ever to create like this massive uterus that was to birth whatever it needed to birth.
God, it's a
And you were a thing that came from this uterus, and they're now on the ground, just like holding you and trying to nurse you as there's just blood everywhere, and like from the navel down, just more body, cartilage, bones, and muscle and organs than are from her navel up 10 times fold from the down, as if whatever this womb may have been or was or could be could hold a large creature, if not larger. And it stitches with the vision that you had before in the memory of the singing of the song, as the vision then goes down and you're able to see the gore of what is below. And then somehow this person is lifted by a harness back into a big tank full of liquid, like a back to tank type, like big,
Is it the
Mad
same room
Doctor
he
tank.
saw when he was a rat?
Same type of woman.
Yeah.
No, room.
Same room, yeah.
That was more of symbolic than like I would say like there may be pieces of that room that you recognize in the area, but this is actual memory of like something coming back that is because we taint our own memories. So that was a little bit more cleaner. This is much darker and much more gruesome.
I'll try to go further back.
Okay.
I'm just taking this entire thing in, like,
You try to go further back.
Yeah.
Before you existed at all. And you...
well, considering I didn't exist before adolescence,
you as a being
Right.
with a brain and a body ever existed at all, further back into the genetic memory.
Yeah.
And you witness what looks like a tall 8-foot woman standing at attendance, not clad in armor, eyes, barely any clothes covering them except for tatters on, the more modest bits, and cavernous, deep red abscesses where eyes should be, and no blindfold covering them, standing there with arms out, ready to accept something, as an individual in scrubs pulls something from some sort of visceral organs and then places it in the hands of this other individual. And you hear, "Shadow, this is Shade. Protect her. Teach her. Welcome to the family." And that's when you snap back to your body. And you feel the whole thing of like when chlorine water has gone up your nose and you're like, ugh, ugh.
okay, but it doesn't come back out.
Nope.
I'll turn to Shadow. Huh?
We know who Shadow is. You just actually, I don't know. You could see if it pings in your memory with my.
Well, I mean, I would have said it out
You were
loud as
dictating
I'm
all.
dictating.
This
all
is a
of
very
this.
good point. If you guys remember, Shade had
Shadow.
at some point divulged a little bit of her history and said that she was abducted when she was a child and then became this and gone through all of these experiments. That doesn't track with what he just said at all.
Manufactured memories.
Shade is sitting there
Yeah.
and you turn and you see the woman, Ibcast woman, this womb bearer, who that is like she's having the visage of this womb bearer there. Like there's so much like trauma that's like subconscious that's happening right now.
Do
in
I
your
have to
brain.
make a roll for it?
I'm gonna say yeah.
Ah, crap.
Yeah.
Anytime you have to make a roll,
And
I'm
Shade
terrified.
is
I can
also
pull something
like
out of my book.
looks like has her nails dug into the table and she's like also like coming to grips with like, no, this can't be true. Like what's happening?
I'm assuming. I'll tell you. Is it a wisdom save in this time,
Yeah.
or something like that?
Assume you just took you got hurt.
Okay, because that's a much lower percentage. So I get a 3, not a 1. So
Are you okay? Does that mean you're okay?
I think it was a 5% on a d20, so that's a 1.
Which is only
right?
a 1, yeah.
Yeah. So no, I'm fine.
Unless that is cumulative.
I don't think we discussed that.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Yep. So you feel it like you start to feel like the bumps of some of your bones beginning to crack and your muscles beginning to like swell, and you kind of push it down.
I'm gonna try to actually turn like that feeling, and see if I can control it at all.
Okay. What do I do?
Yeah, this was not scripted.
Wait. You have scripts?
I thought you did. No.
It's
I
gonna,
only write
it's gonna
it out
have to be.
before I
I'm
get
gonna
here.
say this is a Constitution save.
Okay.
Yeah, because we could plan it.
Nat
That was
one.
the joke. Thank
Nat
you.
1.
Thank you.
So you try to, as it's happening all over your body, you try to concentrate it in your arm and you try to control.
I try to control the transformation
You
or
try to-
whatever it is.
Yeah, you try to control it, and you realize too late that you concentrated all that energy into one spot a little bit too fast, and it causes it to like break through your ability to control it as this like 3 tendrils just come out from your wrist and around your arm and hand and attempt to just pierce 3 of the individuals around you. It's going to be Log, Argus, and Thraz, because they're the ones that are most closely tied to what is happening to you right now. So I need you to roll an attack with advantage plus whatever. It's not your charisma. It's going to be your, I think, dexterity, because your dexterity is higher than your strength, correct?
Yeah.
So it's going to attack with advantage and with dexterity to each one of them.
All right, so first we'll start with you.
Cool.
Yeah, that's a whole. I think you're safe with a 7. Well, I'm adding. His
I only
dex
heard
to
the
it.
one die. You rolled 2, right?
Whales.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah, that
next
misses.
person is.
Log.
Nope, that's going to be with advantage a whole 10.
That
Misses.
Yeah, and one last person.
Wow, I actually thought that was gonna hit you.
I know. Me too.
14.
19's my AC.
So these 3 go out, and all 3 of you dodge them as they flail wildly, and then they are sucked back in, and you
I have
feel
armor.
an immense
have a
pain from
breastplate.
this as it didn't go the way you wanted to. Do you want to continue, or do you want to suppress?
A shield. a
I'm
magical
gonna
shield.
attempt
There
to
you go.
suppress.
Okay.
Do I need another roll?
No, I
max
think you did
infusion?
enough rolls. Like you
Okay.
can,
I'd forgotten.
if you wanted to continue, you would make more rolls.
You have that because I have the same.
You can suppress. Kyra stands up immediately, as do a couple others in the mess hall, and are like,
I just look at Shay.
"What
just
the
be
fuck
like,
was that?
I
Were you aborted as well?"
I do not think so, since he is.
Are you an
standing here.
undying god's child?
Do I look? Well, that's probably not a great. Yeah, no, I'm his child.
He's
I
not.
don't know.
Your daddy?
I'm a
not-
god kind of thing. No, I think.
He's special. He's like,
He is not totally human, but he is not a god.
What
that
was
was
that?
cool.
he tried to fucking attack you.
Didn't hit.
That stuff
Yeah.
is like, you know how I'm part doctor.
Right.
I'm also part that stuff.
Oh, you're a nice mix. You're a whole blend of things. Okay. Okay.
He's fucked up, is what he is.
Nickel,
Okay.
you can level right now.
Yeah.
Yay! Yay!
Yeah, in a pocket
I mean,
level
you can
for
do it on your own
Yeah, yeah.
time, but
You're sat here with the pocket.
you got a piece of yourself back.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you're a part of that.
Big violin, not small violin.
Do I know now that I found a piece? Do I notice, or do I sense missing pieces then? Now that I know what it feels like to have that piece back.
Ooh,
Roll an
that's
insight
a
check
very
for
good
me.
question.
Nat 1.
How would you know?
Yeah.
You're whole again. That's what you know.
Oh no, I haven't. Yeah.
So you're telling me that the thing that is such a threat that I don't know enough about, this Icar, is part of them?
I didn't know that that
And
was the
you
case.
wondered if it was something important for you to focus on.
But so then why is he alive?
Because
Why don't we just burn him?
I asked that a long time ago, and no one agreed with me.
He's
Burn
He
the
has a
witch!
soul.
Burn the witch! Is that what you're crying?
He has a soul.
right.
That is not what I'm saying, and that is a little.
Do you just
sensitive.
burn the innocent? He has a soul and he has a piece.
yeah, I said you could. I was willing to totally open my mind to you, so that you could
Whether
dig
he's
around.
innocent or not, the burning does not matter.
He has been helpful throughout for a while now. It's happened.
Yeah. And he himself.
Speaking of helpful, where is your friend?
Which
one?
Which one?
The damned one that I was after?
Beats me.
Last time we saw him,
That's not a lie.
Last time we saw him, he was in the construct,
Yeah.
and you looked in there, and he was gone.
And you don't care where they are now.
Oh, we care.
We
We
care.
care deeply. But do I really want to try to go
Do
look
we
for him
want
right
you
now.
to murder him?
It's not just you.
Yeah.
It's the whole place. Like if you, we had to talk to you quite
I'm
a bit.
prepared to give them the benefit of the doubt, but I need an explanation.
Okay.
Apparently, I have more information for you than you have for me.
That's.
Perhaps they have some information for me.
I think we have some information for you for
I-
sure.
I
but
can
it's-
say I can tell you that that stuff has infected the well walls. That's about all I can tell you.
Yeah.
The well wall?
Yes, the well wall continuums. The big portals that travel across this
Is
vast
that-
continent and a few places that are not on this continent.
Oh,
That. Yes.
Is that why
I didn't know what they
sense
were called.
The bacon thing.
Yes. It's bacon.
yes. No, there's records of these.
Sounds
They've
reasonable.
been here long
breakfast
before
buffet.
we have.
Oh, they are everywhere. So you know,
There are quite a few, yes.
I mean,
very much so. I traveled them extensively.
oh,
There are tales of those that have gone through them and found themselves in completely different worlds, yes.
do you keep records of like where do you go? I'm very curious because like we have some.
No, but these things. I start pulling out my curios again because very, very proud collector. These come through in the Welwa.
Okay,
Let-
so they
let-
come, but ooh, okay.
I go over to your bag and start trying to rifle through it.
Whose bag?
Your bag,
Mine? I
yeah.
have very little in my bag,
But
honestly.
his doctor's book in there.
Yes.
Yeah, but you can't read.
It was in her hand, like literally. She pulled it out.
Oh, I didn't
She-
know
she-
that. I
she-
was looking
Yeah,
at
I
other
was
shit.
I was looking
She was
through it.
curious
cross
because I
reference.
had mentioned the
Okay.
experiment and
I'm
everything.
curious now if I can read it. We'll have to wait for
Yeah,
TJ
Why-
to get back.
but yes, I traveled them. It is very thrilling.
Yeah.
Slight problem.
Have you ever
After a
found?
certain amount of time, though.
Have you ever
there was
found
some
little
cracks.
like idols by the well walls? Little like little figurine, like little.
Oh, figurines! I pull out a figurine and put it in front of you. It's just this little kind of clay, like. Let me get a good description for you. It's
feel
you
so
see
bad.
this small
Adam.
like clay
He's like,
like
"I'm just
model
talking
figure
about
that I pull out, and it looks like
Yeah.
one of those wooden figures that people use for like helping craft stuff. It kind of looks like that.
That looks very fragile and breakable.
Yes.
Log, don't touch it.
Just
Log.
So it's not what. So it's not what we're
No.
no.
talking about. Yeah,
Not the
okay.
same. No.
I was this
Closer
close.
to the tweet.
I was this
this
close.
will
Okay.
work
Yeah.
once,
Oh.
based on what I have been able to figure out from it.
Okay. Do you can help you figure out things of what each one of these things is? Can help you identify them?
They are very interesting.
If you don't know.
they're- So the ones that I've been showing you are the ones that Thraz knows what they are.
Okay.
And so so he like when he pulls them out, he like explains to you like what everything does
Okay.
to his knowledge,
Okay.
including like he tells you about his coins that from his knowledge allows you to like if somebody you can impart a message into it when you're flipping it, and when somebody else finds it you can flip it again and hear a message.
Okay.
Like, yeah, no, he totally, like, these are really cool things that he loves, and he loves explaining what he finds to other people.
Okay.
How much depth did Bast and Osfer explain to you as far as their encounters with the Ichor?
Not very much.
We didn't have a whole lot of time.
Since somebody had to open their frickin' mouth.
We learned important shit either way.
I feel like
Dream talk to him.
yeah. I feel
Yeah.
like in
yeah, so we can still talk to them, assuming they're alive.
I think the actual time that we had with them was not reflective of the time in game that we did have with them,
Sure.
if that makes sense. Because we had a time where we were like poring over Bast's body and like trying to talk through what to do, and it just we just
I assume
didn't
there
have
was
that.
some stuff that was unsaid that was part of the exposition. And I'm also like, you guys spent hours and hours
Yeah.
and hours together, and Oscar was like, hey, this was what happened, this is what happened. And though we didn't cover it, most likely there's probably going to be so retroactive stuff
Okay.
as far as like sharing it. Just like how it's like, hey, I spent some time in my sister's mind, blah, 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 blah. Hey, would you know this type of thing? So here's what I'll do, just to, in all fairness, just to be like, hey, let's set a baseline for how much information that you got the exposition from Osfer. Let's just
Yeah.
all of the people that were there, other than Shade because she is having a little bit of a moment, and
I'm trying to remember if you were there for that.
Meckel because have
No, Shade.
this self-imposed kind of
Moment.
I was gonna say dementia, but yeah, sure. Roll a history check for me. I don't see why Zemdek wouldn't be able to roll this as well, because it doesn't matter whether you're present or not.
Besides the fact that he's asleep.
Because this is a retroactive check.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Damn. Okay.
And let's just go around the table real quick.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20.
Same.
Okay. Same.
13.
13.
14.
14.
23.
23.
Not applicable.
Yes. Fuck. Okay. Jeez. I'm sorry. What was 21?
23.
23. Okay. So, guys, that's pretty fucking high. So
Thank you for paying attention.
I don't see any reason why you wouldn't know most of the basics of that. The traveling group of Osfer and Bastion and Maveroon and another called Len, and there were others that were also part of it, Pip and Zephyr and a couple of other members that were in and out. And Stjern had, and we'll talk about more of those specifics later on, because basically you have, I'll say that you have kept the door open where if you want to ask later on, if you, hey, did this person have anything to do with this? Do I remember? Because there was definitely this whole point where Osfer sat down and just said, long ago before the moons were arisen, and just went over, and some of you had dozed off just because he was doing this whole monastic, like, storyteller type of thing. And so it's just whether you could remember all of the massive info dump that
Argus
he
was
gave
hopped
you.
up on coffee. So.
Yeah, yeah. Sure,
no,
yeah.
remembers
Explains
everything.
what he was like, tell me more, tell me more. Sure.
Those stories are how you find Kyra.
okay.
Exactly, exactly. So it makes sense
Roll
that
against
many of you were
aneurysm.
paying
It's a
attention.
monk with me in history.
It makes sense that also Zemdek
Yeah.
was paying attention. Like, what do you mean you saw an older me? So we'll say the basics for now, and we can always revisit it later. If you want to say, hey, would I know this? I can just tell you. You can roll a check, and I'll just tell you, because you have that door is open now. I just want to let you know that that's like for you, a new mechanic. If you need to reach into others, the C3's knowledge up to that point, because there's no reason why it wouldn't be available. Basics are there was some sort of contaminant that you remember from Bastion was sent by their patron to go take care of this contaminant that was somehow leaking from the land into the ocean. Eventually, that party of individuals, Bastion, Osfer, and so on, had encountered a deer or a creature that was so corrupted by this ichor, like symbiotic, drippy, like type of oil slick ichor that was dripping off it, caused it to transform to the point where from his nose and its snout all the way down to its like sternum and beginning of its rib cage, there had been like a mouth that had opened up and corrupted it and changed it. And it was dangerous. They defeated it, but long story short, moving on and on and on and on, there was a point where they had then fought a creature made of basically nothing but ichor in an old elven ritual circle deep down in a mine that had many, if not hundreds of bones of dead ancient elves surrounding it. And there was some sort of circle that appeared to be some sort of seal that kept something sealed, something at bay. The age of it, and perhaps, who knows, miners, nobody really knows, had caused it to degrade, and there was a leak, and seeping out became this kind of like egg that started to birth more of this ichor. And it started to spread throughout the area. And they had traced it to the source because it affected one of the towns. And they fought these Icarus individuals which were extremely dangerous, affected their mind, and had the chance to affect their bodies. But in this pure source and in such of its infancy of just coming out of whatever this was, didn't have the same type of contagious effect as it would later on. Fast forward, they find that this Icarus material had also had some sort of roots with something called the Long Death. And as Osfer had described it, basically fits the description of one of the eldritch fetishes that you guys have heard from the Baker's Dozen carrying around, and so on and so forth. It was under the purview and protection and to like keep contained and make sure it was like safe and contained by a group of individuals called the Copse, COPSE, like a copse of trees. And it was a collection of like elementals and druids that lived for a very, 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 very long time. And so who knows how long this thing has been here under their like watch. There was a moment where, if I remember correctly, you had found it buried by some lycanthropic individuals, so some werewolves.
No, they were digging it up.
They were digging it up, or but I think it would, because it was taken from the cops, then hidden, and then could dig it up because it kept changing the location of where they were hiding it.
Mercenaries were digging it up.
Yeah, so there were like humans and like gnolls and werewolves like kind of all working together to do this, and they all seemed under the influence of something while they were doing this. And they had this fetish. Bastion had tried to make his one companion, which was a gulper eel at that one time, devour it, and the rest were like, no, we're not letting you do that. That's weird. This is fucked up. We don't want you to touch this too much. So it was like the log of that campaign. And
Don't put that in your mouth.
We gave it back to the cops.
you gave it back to the cops, and the cops put it in a tree for safekeeping in like some sort of portal. Then later on, they met this like werewolf that said, "Oh, you shouldn't have done that." Like they're blaming me. There's like the lead werewolf, like the first werewolf, which is named Darkor, said, "You shouldn't have done that." They're blaming me. We like always had like our own tiffs, but we agreed upon making sure this thing was safe. So they're blaming me that they're saying that I stole that thing and that's why it's the problem. But no, they just like broke their oath. And it's starting to affect them over so many thousands of years because they can get into people's dreams and like affect who they are. And so it wasn't actually me, it was them. And so it's like he said, she said, back and forth. The
Dark Core himself was another monk.
That's correct. Darkor themselves was what Osfer had recognized was a number monk from way back. Didn't appear to have any robes that descripted his like what temple he was from, which means he was probably so far back before they split or whatever it is that they were doing. So from some of the very beginning stuff.
The only way he, even as powerful as he was, could hold off the corruption was to enter like
a permanent meditative type state.
Meditative
because
state.
he was infected.
He was putting himself into stasis.
But he was putting himself into stasis in his own like little bubble dimension of like it was a little glade, like kind of like a fey glade that he had put himself into, and so he didn't want to leave it of the chance. And he was like saying, this stuff will get more powerful, and it has already started to get. The more people it infects, the more it learns, the more it changes, the more it adapts, and the stronger it gets, and the harder it is to fight. So be very, very careful. And so there's a bunch of suspicions about, is it the cops that was the fault of this, or was it Darkor the fault of this? What's happening? This Eldritch Fetish has some sort of like catalyst of being able to enter people's dreams or what have you. Eventually, at some point, they enter the Feywild and they end up in the future. In the future, this...
The Fey are also attacking us.
Yeah, oh yeah, well, yeah, the...
Nobody likes you. We got that, right?
Darkor said, hey, they broke their oath. And when the Fae came through and ripped open and said, this land is now ours in the material plane, they said, it's because the seal has been broken. The thousandth deal has been broken and has been breached. The deal that was made very, very long ago, the thousandth deal has been broken, and we are allowed to take this place now. So we now have dominion over this place. We can now come through the fog and spill, like let loose let swing wide the gates, let loose the bugs of war. And like many of the Fae from the Fae Moors are these like chitinous bug creatures due to some type of not corruption as far as the Ichor, but the exposure to something that has been poisoning them for so very, very long. Kind of like the Seelie have all fully become the Unseelie type of thing, and they're all like bug-like because of their exposure to what's called cold iron in their world, which is like the only thing that really, really fucking hurts Fae, and is in their air, it's in their water, it's in their soil now. So over who knows how many years, they've become these more bug-like creatures that they detest that they are these things.
Did he describe how the cold iron was introduced into that world?
They did. It was that the cold. There are some people that know how to make the cold iron, but they don't know who.
Okay.
There was something about how there was a war among the seasons of the Fae, to the point where it was, because it wasn't ever really seasons, it was just like agreements of like different types of people, and it became something completely different where like summer, for lack of a better term, pretty much took over, and winter was allowed to exist as well because they like worked with summer, and they were. It was because of the use of cold iron. Anyway, they were then, because of the weird time stuff with Fae Moors and the material plane, they were shot into the future. 769 years into the future, as Oscar had said, where the world, in its majority, had been taken over by the Ichor, and that creatures of the Ichor had supremacy, and there were very few bastions of civilization and survivors called remnant cities that were around. He didn't get too much into the specifics of the remnant cities because he spent more time talking about like the Ichor's a problem. It can infect something. It needs a host, but it can infect something. In the future, and I don't know if this happened in the past either, but if anybody even touches it, they have a possibility of becoming infected with it, and it can grow inside of them, and it can be taken over. And if somebody even touches another person, even in the slightest, that is infected with that, it can spread like wildfire. And it can spell the downfall of kingdoms, nations, continents. The remnant cities that were surviving were either like floating or underground or out and in because the majority of the thing was just taken over.
And the whole party swivels towards Meckle. Crap.
Did they go into the whole turning invisible to see it thing?
Roll a history check. Here we go. The doors are open. Let's see. Because you pretty much just been like, you had a classroom, like one really intense crash course. This Osfer gave you a rocket science crash course. Like, hey, I'm gonna give you like, we're gonna talk to you about 6 hours, and then you have to fly that jet. Is how much of a dense info dump they gave you. So it's pretty much like, how much of this do I remember? Because it was so much.
13.
19?
13.
13. I would say you.
Remember
There are ways to get rid of this thing. Most of the time, it is what you remember is that it is almost impossible to know if somebody's infected with it until it's too late. Meaning that it's probably internal. It grows, probably burrows deep, and then grows until it's too late.
We probably would have told you that force magic tends to splatter it instead of killing
Which
it.
we've seen.
You have.
We have seen that.
Okay.
And we probably would have told you that
Do you remember when?
When the thing came out of my eye, when I was paralyzed, and
Right, that like six-legged, two-armed,
Yeah.
spear-headed thing.
because my spirit force
'Cause
blasted
remember,
it.
that
and-
came from like the memory or like in depiction of one of the fetishes.
Yeah. It was the fetish.
the only
Was the
real
fetish.
true weakness we ever found was that key strikes can stun it, can stop it. But other than that, it's pretty much unstoppable.
But we did stop one. You're not there.
Remember how it turned back into crosshatch and got sucked back into your eye?
Right.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah. So we stopped it from spreading beyond my brain.
Your foot's still a little.
If it's in,
It's okay. It's
if
only learning from Long's brain.
Yeah, that's which means it will probably end up wanting to drink and screw everything. So
But also Dreamweaver,
Yeah.
Right.
Can it spread all over the dreams?
possibly.
I've got a
One
mind
of the things
fortress.
about
All
the
right.
cops was that over who knows how many
Sound.
thousands of years started to infect their dreams because that's how it gains power through entering people's dreams.
That's nice. Good job, Log.
It's contained. It's all good. There's a safe word.
So massive dump, but there you go.
Violence in its vicinity makes it stronger, makes it spread faster.
Just like something that evolves extremely
so it's
quickly,
totally
like the
safe with me.
Borg or
Yeah,
the movie
totally, it's
Evolution.
fine.
Things that
Lambs don't
cause
have
it to
souls
be able
anyway,
to
it's
learn from harm and hostility, cause it to be able to adapt, react, and overcome rather quickly to evolve beyond it. You do know that it's purely biological, and it is a constantly very fast learning, evolving entity.
So, you know,
so having
the whole forest
ahead.
being taken
I
over
was-
by a Fey war and it being infected with this stuff, it's like a great situation.
I was just going to say, if Doctor tried to harness this because it's a biological thing, then that's really interesting as well.
I will look at Doctor's book that she has open in front of her.
So graceful.
Can I read it now?
Graceful, guys.
Can you read it now? Yeah.
You can.
I can.
You can read.
Like good chunks of it.
I will like tug it out of your hands and be like, does it? Other than the fact that I can understand what the words mean, does that actually make sense?
Mostly it is just like what the words mean
Okay.
because you're able to like automatically decipher what it says and it just means a little bit more. Just like reading another language, your
I
brain
can.
just
It doesn't
switches.
go.
Yeah, you flip the switch, but the context is a
Right.
little bit
I
more
can't-
ambiguous. I'll say, well, you tell me, how long do you want to look at this thing?
I'm just open to the. I'm just looking at the page.
Sure.
And kind of like it's no longer a garbled sort of thing. So I'm looking at both the words and their context to see if I can pick up not just the words but also like
Cool. Why don't you go ahead and roll an intelligence check?
because this has not been good for me.
10.
Yeah, I think you're right.
You don't have any.
No, I don't have anything. It's
10.
a 10.
I think what you grasp is the basic organization of what this is. These appear to be laboratory notes, records of experiments, whether they were failures, what they can learn from them, and then the next try.
Now, does that trigger anything else? Like any knowledge genetically that the doctor had as he's going through, any memories that the doctor would have had?
Not at this moment.
Okay.
What it does do is this appears to be a rather comprehensive book of them. But if the doctor is what it is, who knows how long have they been around? So who knows what small of a piece of what this is? The small clues as far as the actual information you're able to discern from this type of thing is they did a lot of experiments. They are constantly trying to splice something with another thing, graft thing to another thing.
Can I flip to the index
Sure,
and look for my experiment number that he read off the vial?
you can.
I was literally in the middle of doing that
Oh, yeah.
and had that page open probably at the point in time you
You
stole
were like,
it.
give me that.
I was like,
Let me
it was
mansplain
already
this
on.
to you.
Yeah.
It was already on page 391. If you want the, whatever, you can find it. Okay, all right.
Poor Dushenny. She was like, sorry, my intelligence is just 20, no big deal.
Here, you can
mansplain
read
shit
it
to
to
me.
us. I will give it back to you.
Thank
No,
you
I-
for giving me consent to do the thing
Yeah.
that I could already do.
Kira's like,
So, as I found
point.
before, you stole it out of my hands, and I read it out loud.
You're able
But
to
cool
find...
that you can read. All right, moving on.
That's all I'm excited about. All of a sudden.
Michael's like, oh, sorry, you're right. I was being a dick. Like,
No, he doesn't say that because he doesn't have the social
Because he doesn't
skills.
understand. Yeah, he doesn't understand that he's being a dick. Because it doesn't. But so you are able to find a number. But you aren't able to read once you flip back to the page that the index refers to. You aren't able to read any of the information. You are.
I can read this. I don't necessarily know what everything means, but I'll just read the words on the page,
Okay, we
and
can
I'll
look.
just.
You get some broken information that rather than just telling you what the words say, I'll give you what you get from the gist of it.
Yeah,
which
no, that's fine.
is,
Maybe we can work together and understand exactly what this means. If you can read it, I can interpret.
Yeah, that's
Sure. So I'm going to give you what the gist of what you understand is, and then if you want to, Trisheni, I'll let you roll an intelligence check to see if you can discern more information.
Okay.
I said this was attempt 44.
42.
42. So it begins
43.
with it like attempt 43
Sample 2.
at splicing exotic
43,
material
sample 2.
from
A619.
exotic continuum into material being.
We know your name now.
There are other things that you notice is there's like a side note in the margin of the reason why that explains, the reason why I keep using this specific genetically birthed creature, of which this is the 43rd version of, is because it seems to be hardy and easy to manipulate and doesn't remember much, so I don't have to deal with all of the emotional bullshit that they try to give me. I have created this for specifically my purposes. The other part that you understand is it says like success. I had a success. Finally found something that is immune to itself.
Okay, I don't know what any of that means, especially the emotional stuff.
Yeah.
Roll an intelligence check for me.
Yeah. Oh, let me finish writing this so I don't.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
It's okay. I just didn't want to lose that. Okay. All right, 15.
15. You have this inkling of like, wait, success? Why would you keep going 43 times as you had a success? And you start to flip back. And you look at somebody and you see failure, 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 failure. This was the first success with
Meckle.
what you're gathering is any creature. To splicing whatever this exotic material from an exotic continuum into you. The rest of it is that you appear that you have some sort of hardiness or constitution against that specific thing. Between the two of you kind of putting your heads together and Argus, you standing there and like being like, woof. The collective kind of understanding of remembering what Osfer said, being like, okay, even if you touch somebody that's infected with this, it can be really, really bad. Meckel seems to be the one person that rule just doesn't apply to. Like, part of that is part of his actual DNA, and it doesn't affect people that he touches. And he can just it to become more of himself. Which would explain his tantrums as well. If that symbiote or whatever it is, that Acre was reasserting itself upon his being and its DNA for him to become these body horror-like things.
My sister would love to meet you. Just gonna say that. Maybe someday.
Not in the way you're thinking.
Not, yeah. I agreed.
I don't think he was even thinking that way.
Yeah, you have noticed that Meckel hasn't. Matt maybe has commented again. Meckel hasn't shown any sort of like attraction or
Maybe
any
she
of that
finds
towards
that's
anything.
very
Perhaps
attractive.
that might be part of the Icar being not a
Right.
reproductive, like sexual reproductive entity.
Asexual reproduction is a bitch.
So I'm gonna bud, and then you guys will have two of me.
Mitosis.
Mitosis.
Yeah.
Oh.
You're just gonna split in half one day, and then there will be.
So does that
Well, so you
mean
can
instead
eat
of
too much
being
food.
the problem, maybe I'm part of the solution?
Possibly.
Possible.
Or both.
Yeah,
Could
that's what
be
I was
the-
about to say. Maybe you're both.
Given the timey-wiminess of everything, you might be both.
That's why you have to guide me in being on the right side of things.
We can try.
Right.
I'm just
Yes.
talking to him.
I'm
Okay.
great at
Yeah.
that.
I mean, I'll take your advice, but
It's, you know what, it's fair. I'm a little crazy, it's fine.
Little. You're not.
wait a
Are
minute.
you
wait
like
a minute.
building
I'm a little crazy. It's
like
fine.
No.
Meckel as an unaware sexist? Like, what is happening here?
What?
No. I just
Like a
value.
runaway misogynist?
I was
No.
talking
okay.
specifically. to
He's
the
his
god
disciple.
aware.
happening?
Yeah,
He's
no.
his disciple, not.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I was getting
Yeah.
at. Not,
Yeah.
No.
You know,
it wasn't.
Cult members tend to follow their leaders. Just pointing that out.
Question though. So there are these other attempts.
Yeah.
Where are they?
Where, well, that and where is he getting this? If this stuff is so corrosive and toxic and stuff, he must have a ready source.
Sounds like from the well walls.
Yeah.
You said that there was a wall there?
Yes.
There's
Yes.
one in his lab. There's one in
Right.
every single one of his labs.
That's how he gets around.
Right.
Well,
It's easy.
But this
That's how
stuff
he
he
sends us
pulled out
where
of
we need to be.
nowhere. I mean, I saw it drop into my hand from nothing.
Unless there are those like me that can do it myself.
That makes sense.
What?
I'm betting he got it from the well walls.
I have magic. I'm a mage. Not every one of the
You're-
Dorcanon are mages.
question
mage?
about that, because they just
Interesting.
mentioned to me that the
Oh,
doctor
I thought you were
uses the
talking-
well walls
I
to
thought
move
you were-
around.
It's
I thought
doctor.
that was Kyra, not. These beans are fermented.
Have I ever
I'm speaking with an accent, so I must be shade.
have I ever seen anybody suspicious like the doctor potentially moving around in the
Oh,
well
like
walls?
like ships in the night, like just
Yeah.
passing me, like, hey, what's up, dude?
Not
You're driving a
necessarily,
Jeep, I'm
no,
driving
but-
a Jeep. Look.
But no, have I
your
seen
Hummer.
anybody like that? It was a question. That was my question.
In the continuum?
Yeah.
Or just
or
The
or
nature of the
potentially
continuum is
or potentially even stuck my head out in the wrong place and went, ooh, don't want to be here.
good question. I would say go ahead and roll a history check for me.
Okay.
Are we waking them back up?
We should. but
13.
13.
When we're somewhere safe to do so.
She said that she would vouch for him.
Okay.
Do you know where he is?
Maybe.
Inside check unlocked.
Definitely
You can't see past his beans and rice.
Yeah.
That's-
I mean, have you noticed him putting the? I mean, with your passive perception, have you noticed him just pouring beans and rice into his
Probably.
pockets?
But how is that different from normal?
You did at one point exit of the continuum inside of a like
Lab.
putrid liquid tank that
No.
was
it?
that you had to like break yourself out of and like had to break the glass, and you were in like a small room in the basement of like a defunct place, and you had seen like a couple things on the table that were old, and you were like, okay, what's here, what brought me here? And you had grabbed the dimensional echo trinket, and you had noticed like that it was an old melon baller and a couple of other things, and you were just like, okay, I'm out of here.
okay.
Oy.
You know how long I've been working at this stuff? It's like a circle. There's so many things. She remembers that from like a campaign so many years ago.
Melon baller?
Yeah.
Well,
And just other things and like.
An
Oh,
old
I was
melon baller that
thinking
one of the
this
other groups
campaign.
had that apparently has traveled through a couple of different campaigns.
yeah, Oscar had a melon baller.
Yep.
We've got one.
I remember a tank.
We
with-
have a melon baller.
You had
I
found
think-
yourself in, I believe,
That's true.
grasslands at the end of it, if I
I
remember correctly.
Well,
think
I seem to
Machete has
remember
one, too.
finding a underground.
Maybe.
Not me, but
It was like the
in the grasslands that
the
one place
cellar
we found
hatch.
underground
That
where
was the
they
only thing
busted.
left from the
Exactly.
building
Exactly.
that had
We
long
found-
since been like
It was like
dilapidated
an
and gone.
abandoned animagen
Yeah.
Yeah,
Laboratory.
that was like
Yeah.
hidden in the cellar of something
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
the building had long since been
Yeah.
like.
Do you think now before we find Zemdek that, and I turn to her
But a
again,
very, very small one, like just one tank and like a table, just like very, very small.
you can tell us what you didn't want to tell us about the other undead guy, Vlad, Daddy Vlad,
Vladdy.
Vlad,
Vladdy.
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 Vladdy's.
That sounds cooler.
I mean,
I think
we
he'd
see-
like
Vladimir
Nash.
Urielor Arenbach has been a thorn in our side for a very long time.
Why does he have
Vlad
2
or-
elven names?
What was that again?
Vladimir Urielor Arenbach.
But Uliar and Ehrenbachs are not.
No, they are from 2 different houses.
Then how is he both?
We don't know.
Is he actually the brother of Masha?
We don't know. The
Okay.
Conclave is very good at what they do. We're very good as well, but the fact that we even know their name does give us some type of power. Sorry. Does give us some type of power over them. I keep slipping into
Yeah.
British.
So, I mean, we knew.
Shade
if that's
looks like.
his real name.
I didn't even know his name.
You knew his name was Vlad, but that's about it.
Being from the region I'm
about
from, have I heard anything about this with this specific name?
History check.
Cool. That's why I asked that question.
What was the question? I'm sorry.
There wasn't a question. I don't think.
10. I don't even have to pull it up. 10.
I mean,
Maybe.
I think the only thing that sounds familiar is the last name of Urielor and the last name of Ehrenbach, which are the name of 2 different powerful houses in Sartla.
Cool.
How
Hey,
long
that's
has he
something.
been around? Do you have records of that? Or Lady Masha, honestly.
No, not really. As far as we know,
Always.
as long as Masha has been around. But we don't know.
Okay.
How long do the damned live?
Until they're killed.
Okay.
Or they kill themselves.
Is that a common thing?
It's happened. Those that had been turned that did not want to be turned and didn't want to continue to exist as what they were forced to be.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
It is extremely sad. It's one of the reasons why I need to take care of what I needed to take care of. Those that are made have to obey their maker. And when you have a maker, such as Vladimir, so old, so powerful, and so unscrupulous, conniving, strategic, old, cannot be trusted.
Have any ever denied their maker? Have any ever rebelled? Been fuck you?
Many have tried. At least that's what the records say, and that's what my memories tell me.
And it just doesn't work out. Is what you're saying?
A force compels them as they are no longer pilots of their own being.
Are they aware when this happens? Do you know?
Yes,
Can they say things
that's
that
why many have chosen death as a preferable alternative.
Hypothetically, if the Vladdy were killed, then they're
All of his creations would die as well.
immediately,
Yes.
right then,
That is what we have learned, as far as we know, yes. Vlad is one of the elders, so we're not sure exactly what might happen, but either it would be greater and even more would die, or we're not sure.
To find the
But
balance.
others, when the maker of some is created, all of their creations also.
To find the balance, I'm sure with your records, if there's 3 receptacles that you've described, is there what's the cure? We know of kind of
There is no
a
cure.
cure, but
There is
No?
mercy.
There was
But-
mention.
there was mention of a cure
By
But-
whom?
Vlad.
by themselves.
You would trust the creator of the disease to then
Oh.
offer you a cure?
He did not want to tell us.
No. It was
See, she thinks for a moment.
extraneous circumstances.
I can't say that I trust any of this,
It's fair.
and I'm sure you know why.
That doesn't mean it's not worth a try.
Do you know of
So graceful.
so graceful? That's why I choose high dex characters.
I mean, you are having some issues being underground for so long.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You just
mean-
knock your bowl. You like get closer and you move, and just your bowl right, just ting.
Ignore that. Ignore that.
It's fine. It's fine. Mage handed up back on there totally gracefully.
Zemdek wakes up for a moment, hears the sound of rice falling around. He's
Cinch the pocket shut.
If you don't
keeps shoving rice and beans in your.
You're soaking wet pocket at this point.
That's the thing. Like you keep doing that. Some greens are eventually gonna fall through and like hit Zemdek. Be like, I can't fucking sleep. I gotta count this rice.
I seem to recall a little bit of something talking about werewolves. Do you have any records of where they are?
Yes.
Yeah?
Most of them reside in the Shailian cradle.
That's what was mentioned.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. You're right. Okay.
I said something about the shield.
They yeah. Okay.
The werewolves are technically descendants of the original progenitors of the temple that is in the southwest.
Interesting. What's
There are
the
3
name?
temples in this continent: the temple of the mind, temple of the soul, and temple of the body. The temple of the body is in the north. We are the temple of the soul, and the temple of the mind is in the southwest.
Did you say the body was the north?
Yes, they focus on conditioning and self-flagellation.
A little brutal.
Sounds kinky.
I'm sorry, where's soul and mind again?
Soul, mind, and body.
Where?
The body is to the north, the soul is the Wa'anaote, and the mind is to the southwest. Somewhere deep into the cradle.
So you said the mind was where?
What are now the werewolves were the original progenitors of the Temple of the Mind.
Okay.
They became so...
Far to the southwest in the cradle.
I thought that was soul.
Yeah.
The soul is the Watanote, the one we know of.
They became so in tune with nature and the world around them, both in mind and perhaps otherwise, that the world itself sometimes gave a gift, but many now would call it a curse. This is, again, these are all very confusing for me because I am reaching back to other generations of memory.
How do you do that?
I wish I fucking knew.
Because I would love to learn.
Apparently someone has figured it out and put it on somebody else. And the Dorkennen.
I don't like him.
Well, if the one person who's figured out is the doctor,
Is it perhaps because you like sit in meditation and like you think back to your old selves or something?
it's most likely some. If it is genetic memory, then it is genetic, which explains why the doctor was able to isolate it.
Yeah. But
So it's something in our DNA, I believe is the right word.
sure.
But it's odd because we're not related. None of us are
That's
related.
what I'm confused about.
The world provides.
But that's why I'm wondering if the flames have it. And we get it through the flame.
The little embers that have traveled.
I
from
understand. The keepers of the earth have all been collected and already transformed. The keepers of the flame, you were the only one missing, but the white keeper is reluctant,
Well,
as apparently are you.
right now, yes.
The keepers of the air have all been stolen and sequestered, as far as we can understand. The keepers of water, we're at a loss with them.
Well,
Are they fish fuckers?
Excuse me?
Are they fish?
Just
Are
turn-
they blue? Are
turn
they
your-
blue and like?
Turn yourself into bass.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
When
Yeah.
I say I was at a loss, I meant I don't know, but
But do they look
Oh,
like this?
that's a
But
blue
yeah, but
person.
I'll turn into best. Like
Kind
they
of.
they
know
look
what that
like
is,
this.
but okay.
a sea elf. Did he ever tell us?
I don't think we.
He's a sea elf.
I mean, you guys would
Okay.
have recognized me as an elven person.
Looks like
Well, I
an
think-
elf with some aquatic. I never.
There's a whole land under there.
Hold on.
I'm so tempted to say.
You have your sister's
talk.
numbers of Carver.
A dazzling place you never knew.
I know.
There's something about a sunken kingdom. A people saved by a deal?
A
That's fine.
deal
With a Styria?
with a fish fucker.
I'm starting to think
I don't
that
know
you are
what that-
talking about you.
I haven't fucked any fish.
There's a fleeting memory, something
don't know
about.
you.
There's a large portion of the land that was swallowed by the sea.
Which
And someone, a leader, had made a deal with a primordial force. But there's something wrong about it, and I don't know why. And that's all I can remember.
does the broker mean anything to you?
I just realized why I don't like pudding.
Because it doesn't get
Not to
sucked
me.
into your brain?
Okay.
To one of the other me's, maybe.
Okay.
What about the
Something
mongrel
is-
fled?
You see the mongrel fled?
Yeah.
So you say
I'm surprised.
you say the mongrel fled.
I ask if that rings any bells.
She says the rodent pursued.
What?
The rodent.
She also looks as surprised as herself, as like she didn't mean to say that.
I offer you a kebab.
I accept.
But okay.
Shade then says, like the cock with the dawn.
I've heard that one.
Was that from the
Yeah, we
brothel the
have.
other day,
No, we've actually heard that.
or like the other month?
Or is that like a common saying for lug?
The
No.
Mecco, can you please roll a wisdom saving throw?
what was that?
Wait,
The
wait,
cock
I
roll?
don't
Like
need
the
to
cock
hear
from the
about
dawn.
somebody
wait. So it was
smelling
the
wood.
rodent
the
pursuit. Was the rodent pursued?
Shade.
Is that what it was?
The rodent
I am
pursues-
not going to
Rodent
give you
pursued.
these ones
The
again.
mongrel
I'm so
fled.
sorry.
The rodent pursued, like the cock from
with the dawn.
with the dawn. Okay.
Which
Wisdom
that one
save?
Yeah.
16.
Nicely done.
Fuck, where were we when we heard the cock?
Out of your mouth, you
With the
can't control
dawn.
this. Just happens.
Okay.
Like a call sign that you're responding to.
Oh, sorry. What?
You say, the hair makes its debut.
I say that.
And
What?
so there's, like, you say, have you heard of the mongrel fled? And Kyra says, yes, the rodent pursued. And Shade says, like the cock with the dawn. And then you say, the hair makes its debut. And all 4 of you are like, what the fuck? Why did we just say that?
We have heard the cock
Siblings!
with the dawn before. I know we have.
We have.
All of you are connected in some type of way or another. All of you have some type of
I knew it.
interaction with a exotic
Well,
being.
those 3 do. He just is some.
But he's a
random dude.
dream weaver, and they've been taking stuff
And
his
I remember
mom's in.
because TJ
Aaron
was like,
box.
"You're gonna laugh at this. Don't laugh at this." The cock with the dawn.
A cock like the bird, people.
I even
I
remember
specifically
like
remember this too.
he paused everything to prepare us for the cock with the dawn.
I mean, this must have been like 2 years ago.
Oh,
It was
this
more
was
than that. It was so much more than that. Well, with him, perhaps.
That's what I
But,
meant.
Like, I
Yeah.
wrote this so long ago.
I remember it. I
I'm
don't know
now
if I
like,
remember.
oh no, why did I do this? Why has it now become part of it? But it's okay.
Can I access my memory banks to see if I've heard anything of this
Yeah.
at all? Like, besides,
Sure,
like, the complete stanza, like, synthesizing everything.
you can.
I mean, yeah.
You can as well if you like, yeah.
Is it in the front cover of Doctor's book?
It is not.
What is this, a history check?
Yes, it would be history.
Maybe. A 10, I'm pretty sure a 10 is a maybe.
Dirty 20?
Nothing at all. Nothing at all.
This is still gonna bug me. I'm still gonna
This is
look
like
for
a
things.
campaign breaking thing. There's no way. You have to get really
Like a
high.
35 or something,
Something
probably.
insane you have to get. Oh, right.
He's like, there's the answer to
Oh,
that
yeah.
riddle.
Oh, here's the other line that I haven't given to you yet.
I really have to go through all my clipboards. I had so many good ideas.
Yeah, what happened? I'm just.
He let us loose in his world. That's,
Oh, that's
what
true.
happened.
That is true. I'm gonna get another dice thrown at me, aren't I?
I am, yeah.
Alright.
Oh, well, you fucking nailed it.
Okay. I don't. I remember. I remember.
About
us
to
hearing
throw a
about
big
it.
acrylic die.
I feel like it was from like a prophecy.
There's that one, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
It wasn't the hag, was it?
I'm not giving it back.
It
to
was
you.
definitely after that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no.
You guys remember what the hag said?
Yep,
Well, yeah,
I've got that written down.
me too.
I don't.
I actually think
I have
that's a
to find my
perfect
notes to
spot
figure
for
out
us
where
to,
I put it
to
down.
end it after all 4 of you just like say these weird call signs in response to each other and be like, what the fuck? Why did we say that? I think that's a perfect spot for us to end it. But please keep sorting through your stuff. We can talk about this more in the burn ends.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much. We'll see you next time. As always, stay safe out there. We love you very much. Bye.
Bye, guys.